We're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Kudrov, score! The Lightning win it!
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Minnesota Wild, the National Hockey League, and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Good evening, State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota, where tonight the Wild take on the Utah Hockey Club. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed here with you as the Wild, Tom, back on home ice for a couple of quick games. Tonight against Utah, Saturday against Calgary. And I'm kind of wondering how they sort of translate and take all those good vibes from the road. An NHL best 17 road wins for the Wild, not so much at home. How do they finally start to find some consistency here on home ice?
Yeah, we certainly hope so. They got the best record on the road for all the teams in the NHL, but at home it's been a little bit more dismal for them. When you look at Minnesota's home record in 22 games, they've gone 11-10-1 with 23 points on the year, but they have scored 13 less goals than they have given up, and that's not a sign of being a positive. But right now, I think having those two guys back, Joe, is going to change the mindset of this hockey club.
So Minnesota's signature win Monday at Ball Arena, 3-1, the final score, getting 2 goals in the third period to beat the Avalanche for their, again, NHL leading 17th road win. Also ended a 3-game losing streak overall for the Wild. They come in second in the Central Division, 4th in the conference, sitting at 60 points on the year. As for Utah, they're a game above 500, having won back-to-back contests. They're 20-19-7. On the fringe of a playoff spot, not quite in their first year in Salt Lake City, but as we've seen, 2 one-goal games against the Wild back in December, this team is, maybe the record, the standings don't show just how young and upcoming they are.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I like this hockey club. I said that when we were out in Utah, that this is a young club that's going to win their majority of games. And I still believe that. Now, whether or not they'll make the playoffs remains to be seen. But you have to stay healthy, and that's been one of Minnesota's problems this year, of not health the health they're looking for. And then you stay healthy and you have a chance. But we're past the halfway mark of the season.
As Tom and Kevin mentioned on the pregame show, Kaprizov is back, Spurgeon is back. Of course, Faber and Lauko recently returned as well. As for Utah, without Mikhail Sergachev, big offseason acquisition for their first year in Salt Lake City. He'll miss his 3rd straight game. And Dylan Gunther, week to week, he's sort of out indefinitely, one of their top young scorers. It's the Wild and the Utah Hockey Club for the 3rd of 4 meetings in the season series. The puck drops next from St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
This is Jonas Brodin of the Minnesota Wild.
And I'm Brock Faber. Don't miss us in action right here all season long.
Saturday night, it's the nightcap of Hockey Day Minnesota as the Wild host the Calgary Flames. Coverage starts at 5:45. Puck drops just after 6. Then the Wild are on the road for 5 straight. Starting on Sunday, it's a 5:45 pregame against the Blackhawks in Chicago.
Listen to Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell every night, exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Hey, Wild fans. This is Jared Spurgeon.
And I'm Jake Middleton. Welcome to Minnesota Wild Hockey.
Try and find him. He does, and they score! Jake Middleton!
Wild Hockey is presented in part by
Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see.
Lock it in and turn it up. Wild Hockey starts now. Opa.
Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. Catalyst Supply Co., building materials and install support. Boost your build. Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild. Excel Energy, proudly powering the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy.
And now, with all the action,
here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
From the Al Shaver Press Box, XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota. We're ready to roll. The Wild and the Utah Hockey Club. It's 2000s night. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Got to have a theme night for a bunch of different decades. You know, Tom Reed, what do you remember about the 2000s since they were so long ago?
Yeah, I didn't know if my computer was going to work when
the clock struck midnight.
12, yeah, that was the biggest challenge for all of us, I think, at that point.
Kate Flannery, who played Meredith from The Office, the hit TV show, doing Let's Play Hockey. And prior to the Star Spangled Banner from John DeCosmaker, a nice moment of silence and video tribute for Willard Eichala, who passed away at the age of 92. Spent 33 years coaching at Edina High School, 8 state championships, longtime goaltender, longtime coach, and really just gave back to the game so many ways.
Yeah, he did. And I've known Willard for a long time, and to watch him in the high school tournaments and wearing that fedora of his, he just loved to be a part of the game. And what a great inspiration he was to a lot of the young kids who played under him.
So well done by the Wild organization to pay tribute to the man they called Ike. We're underway here in St. Paul. Again, Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period, wearing their green jerseys here tonight. Utah Hockey Club from left to right in the opening frame in their white sweaters. And the return of Kaprizov and Spurgeon certainly at the headline of things for Minnesota here this evening. And you and Kevin talked about on the pregame show, Tom, with 35 seconds going by in the first. Wild back on a puck here, Declan Chisholm. Important for the Wild not to change particularly how they played Monday in Denver, just because they have a couple of their stars back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They still have to play their game, and just having those guys back in the line certainly is going to help.
Oh, guess who just stepped onto the ice? Number 97. Crowd recognizing that. Rossi, Zuccarello, and Kaprizov reunited here. Rossi with a pass looking for for Kaprizov, swiped away. Logan Cooley darts up ice. They'll feed in the Wild zone, taken away by Faber, his former college teammate. Now Kaprizov off his end wall to Jake Middleton, who headmans through center looking for Rossi. Rossi over the blue line, dropped it off Zuccarello, cruised one to the back post. Kaprizov has to grab it off the end wall. He looked to center for Rossi. It's jabbed away, and Josh Doan will skate the Utah Hockey Club through center. Doan, the son of Shane Doan, who's the all-time leader in games played for the Jets and Coyotes franchise. John Merrill now for Minnesota, deep in his own end, tries to bat a puck around, looking for Zach Bogosian, his defense partner here tonight. Giveaway by the Wild, a point shot, and they score. Tipped in front, and the game's first shot goes in. A $1.46 played. Barrett Hayton has given Utah an early lead.
Well, we talk about shooting the puck to the net and see what happens, and Hayton does exactly that, as he's right in that position to put the puck in the net to give his team that 1-0 lead, and that's an inspiration certainly to that hockey club. But Hayton is one of those guys that you know he's going to find the back of the net at some point here. The center out of Peterborough, Ontario, now in his 6th year. That is goal number 10 for him in the year, and gives his team, as you call it, Joe, a 1-0 lead here, coming at 1:46 of the first period.
Tom Philip Gustafsson last played Wednesday here in this building. Gave up 5 goals on 36 shots, a loss to the Oilers. 19 goals his last 4 games since shutting out the Hurricanes in Raleigh. You and I talked before we went on air. We thought this would be a big start for Gustafsson. The first shot goes in.
And you wonder how that's going to play in the goaltender's mind. It's such a mind game for some of the goaltenders. It's hard to forget what happens. They get one shot and it's in the net, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, what's going to happen here? But he's got to step up. But the guy's got to work with him also back in that defensive zone.
The Wild had scored the first goal in 5 previous contests. 5 straight contests, I should say. Alex Kerfoot a chance. That was off a giveaway by Gustafsson. The Wild counter with Liam Ogren. Ogren rushing over the blue line, spins up right side, got bottled up, and then just had a stab it down low where Foligno pokes it around. Middleton the pinch in, handed it back. Husnudinov, who has a goal in the season series. He'll find Faber at center point for a wrister. That's blocked to the corner. Almost 3 minutes now gone by in the opening period. Again, the Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Faber behind his own net. Jake Middleton supported well. The Wild break it out with Lauko, connecting with Husnudinov. Back off to Lauko. He'll shovel it in left side. Trenyon, Husnudinov, and Lauko, this 4th line for Minnesota. What a difference just a couple of games and days make as far as getting bodies back and just slotting guys in a more appropriate spot in the lineup. Lauko left side on a breakout. Fed the weak side to Bogosian. They'll hammer it along. Trenyon over the blue line. He had the game winner Monday in Denver. Utah able to steal. Nick Schmaltz in a game of give and go with Logan Cooley. Cooley had his pocket picked by Zach Bogosian. Trenyon off the boards. Boldy fresh off the bench to it for Minnesota. He had it taken away by the veteran defenseman Oli Mata. And Utah now to wheel along with Schmaltz coming through center right side. Schmaltz with a pass looking for Clayton Keller. Leads the team in goals, assists, points, and shots. Keller moves one back, and a chance by Kesselring is handled by Philip Gustafsson. He'll hang on.
Yeah, Gus was looking around, not quite sure where the puck was. It actually was under his right pad there, but it made sure he did not move to make sure it was that puck was going to sneak out of that area. So he hangs on to the puck, and that'll bring the face-off to his left right now. We have played 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Both shots in this game coming off the sticks of the Utah Hockey Club.
Face off to the left of Gustafsson. Eric Sinek to take it. They'll deal with Hayton. Eric Sinek won the draw back. Faber sprung it around. Comes back along now for the control of Matthias Michelli. He was bottled up, and Boldy's able to get the puck through center. Hartman now bats the puck out of midair. Utah's back on it, though, with Michelli, steering it over the left shoulder of Gustafsson and back behind the Wild cage. Faber able to chisel it free. Eric Sinek tries to poke it out. That ends up clanging off of Ian Cole and ends up in the stands. And Eric Sinek a little hobbled to the Wild bench as he and Cole collided awkwardly there.
Well, attention to our season ticket members. We are rewarding you for listening all season long with Forever Wild Reward points. Enter the code FAMILY. That's FAMILY to receive 100 bonus points on your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow. In the face-off right now deep in the Minnesota zone to the right of number 32. Bit of Gustafsson. Down that crouch position, ready for that puck to be dropped.
Just got the win in Salt Lake City. And the first meeting between these two teams, the Wild and Utah Hockey Club played twice in a 10-day span in early December. As Kaprizov attacks, finds Zuccarello. Right side, has a lane if he wants it. Wristed a shot. Knocked down by the glove of Amelka. Jared Spurgeon to pinch in. Tonight, the 900th game. All with Minnesota for Jared Spurgeon. That's regular season only. It'll come to a loose puck out by the Wild bench, flicking it along. Zuccarello couldn't do much there. Now Chisholm trying to paddle it free for Kaprizov. Stolen by Liam O'Brien. O'Brien to flip it in. Merrill, right wing breakout pass. Now a rink-wide dish. Zuccarello finds Kaprizov. Back up along the right wing boards. It comes Rossi. Able to step past the check. Rossi in. Tried to center. Kaprizov was tied up. On a good defensive play there by Nick DeSimone. The other way come the Utah Hockey Club. Left circle, Bukestad a wrister. Stick save Gustafson. As the former Golden Gopher and Wild forward try to go short side. It's launched ahead by Minnesota. Kaprizov spins off a hit, knuckles it into the Utah zone. A little bit more than 5 minutes played now. 4 shots for Utah, 1 for the Wild.
Yeah, Joe, you talk about, of course, 46 and 97 back on the ice. You got to be careful that they don't try to overextend themselves right now. Also, they're anxious to get on the ice to make something good happen.
Cooley finds Schmaltz off the rush. Jammed back out in front for a try by Cooley, but he was tied up by Bogosian. Now a big one-timer from Clayton Keller is blocked by the Wild D, and Marcus Foligno will spin it along for Bogosian, who hits the offensive blue line right side and floats it back in the net. Karel Vejmelka out with his goal stick. Couldn't get his clearing attempt past the pressure of Foligno. Freddie Gaudreau now to weave it along. Foligno won the foot race, hacked it up top. Faber, a long shot blocked. That broke the stick of Schmaltz. He's got to stay out there to defend with his stick shattered in 2. Back up at the point now, Ogren, a long wrister. Kick save Vejmelka. Liam Ogren was a -4 in Nashville, then a +3 in Denver on Monday.
Yeah, picked up a couple of assists in that game as well, being a +3.
John Hines felt that he had a lot more kind of purpose to his game against the Avalanche as opposed to the previous contest against the Preds.
You always wonder how players are going to react when you have a minus like that. You know, being a -4 in the game, like, you know, what's going to happen next game? But he can't turn it right around in that second game.
Faber, a rink-wide pass looking to go D to D. It's escaped the reach of Middleton. Now Faber out of his right wing corner. Launches a pass ahead that comes out to center. Lawson Krause on a reset. Finds Hayton, who has the goal here tonight. 6.5 minutes gone by in period number 1. The Wild down 1-0 as Utah claiming the game's first goal for the 26th time this season. They're 13-7-5 in their first 25 when scoring first. Spurgeon at the blue line. Feathered it left side. Chisholm had to activate to grab that puck and then rolls it back in the cage, where it's stripped away by Juuso Välimäki, and Utah able to spring it down the ice. It's an icing call on the visitors with 7:01 gone by in the first.
And Joe, you mentioned Chisholm once again. I just watched him. He's playing with so much confidence in his game right now. He's getting more ice time because of it. He knows how to make those plays. When he first came up, you could see the nervousness of him on the ice, but I don't see that anymore. I see him with a guy who's very secure in his position. He's getting lots of ice because of it.
And joined Kevin Fulness on the pregame show, and he talked about just how comfortable he feels here, Tom. And I guess that's got to help no matter what, right? Just knowing the team, the organization, the system, the area, just makes you feel a little bit more at home.
It does. And when the coach puts you on the ice, whether it's even strength, killing penalties, or on the power play as we've seen him, it gives him a little more confidence that they put their trust in him to be there.
Hartman feeds it up top. Chisholm right on cue with a blast. That caught the end glass. Michelli tries to clear. Spurgeon kept him at bay. Now Boldy right wing corner. Stripped to the puck for a moment. Välimäki, the former Calgary Flame blue liner, to Doan. Doan able to fight past Hartman and head man for a tip in by Michelli. Spurgeon comes back left wing corner. Played it along Hartman. Fired a one-touch rink wide. Boldy has to flop it back. Chisholm goes right back to Matt Boldy. Hustles one off the boards right side. It'll bounce into the Utah zone and be an icing call, even though there were a couple of white jerseys right by that bouncing puck.
Well, the wait is over. Hockey Day Minnesota returns on Saturday, and you can celebrate with us as the Wild will host the Flames. All fans in attendance will receive a Wild-branded hoodie flag courtesy of Windcraft. Buy tickets today at wild.com/HDM. And that day is coming, and I understand the weather's going to cooperate somewhat. Hopefully that will be the case. Remember that Bemidji, what was it? The Coles, it was -26 that day. The average is about 17 degrees.
A long shot handled by Gustafson. That came from the left point off the one face-off by the visiting Utah Hockey Club. 12:18 to go in the first. A timeout on the ice. The Wild trail 1-0 here at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hear the NFL Conference Championship games on Sirius XM. Sunday at 3 Eastern. Jaden Daniels' Commanders face the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Then at 6:30, it's the AFC Championship as Josh Allen's Bills take on the Chiefs.
An 11-yard touchdown! Playoff Pat to playoff Kelsey!
Find the channel numbers at SiriusXM.com/NFL schedule or search for the teams on the SiriusXM app.
The big name games are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scored the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Well, Tom Reed's hotline will follow the first period tonight. Texting your comments at 64686, and one random listener will win a pair of tickets to see the Wild and the Flames in Hockey Day, Minnesota. Good luck. Once again, that code is 64686. Face off deep in the Minnesota zone to the right of Philip Gustafson. Minnesota trailing 1-0 in this contest. Early goal also. That came in at 1:46 of the period. Aiton getting his 10th goal of the season. D. Simone gets his second assist.
Here's Marco Rossi carrying all by himself up along the right wing boards. So we'll spin it around the net. Zuccarello left side, hacked it back around. Bogosian right wing dasher, fired one. That's in the glove of Vemelka with 8 minutes played in the first.
Yeah, good shot by Bogosian coming from that side also. And you look at him, he's got that big body, right-handed shot. Get it right to the net there. And, of course, he needs 5 more games, including this one, for 900 games in the National Hockey League. He's done well.
Rossi and Cooley on the tie-up. It's to the left of Vemelka. Lost his last 2 starts, giving up 9 total goals. Rangers handed him a defeat on January the 16th. That was in Utah. And he stopped 20 of 24. That was his last time out. Connor Ingram winning the last 2 games for Utah. Zuccarello a shot. That's a sharp save by Vemelka with his left arm. And the puck played all the way down on the rebound. It's icing on Utah. Again, Tom, talk about a few times, left-handed catching goaltender here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, that shot by Zuccarello, he had it labeled on the far side. It was going, if the goalie didn't get a piece of it, it would have been in the net. But he got a piece of it, and you're right. Minnesota right now just trying to find a way to get back into this contest. They've had 3 shots so far, 5 on the other side. Face off deep in the Utah zone.
Winning back-to-back games, outscoring their opponents 9-4. Monday against the Winnipeg Jets, a game they won 5-2 at home, ended a 7-game homestand for Utah. As we're back to live action, Middleton tries to chisel one down low. The flex ends up at center. Able to locate a Kaprizov, punched it back for Faber. Right wing pass, Zuccarello just taps in. Michael Kesselring sent it around his own net. Kaprizov nearly came up with it, then Zuccarello able to speed it deeper in the Utah zone. Now a stretch pass and a 2-on-1. It is Keller, cross ice, Schmaltz right circle to his backhand. Big save, Gustafson from rebound, they score. Ian Cole followed it up, and no one picked him up, and it's 2-0 Utah.
Yeah, you got to look for the late guy coming in there, and that's what Cole does. The big defenseman also makes it work for his team. That's his 2nd goal of the season for the former Wild defenseman. He makes no mistake on that one, but it became an odd man rush once again by Minnesota giving it up. But Cole just fouls the play, and the rebound comes right over to him. He had to cut to his left just a little bit, but good play all the way around by the Utah hockey team. They knew exactly what they had to do there, and give them a lot of credit. They're just controlling the puck in the offensive zone, and they have taken a 2-0 lead here and quieted this crowd down considerably. Not that there was a lot of noise to begin with, but this one coming at 8 minutes and 38 seconds of the first period.
Tom, I think the Wild are going to challenge this. I mean, Schmaltz was not pushed in as he cut through the goal crease, and he made some more than marginal contact with Philip Gustafson, and then Keller even bumped him a bit too. We'll see if it's enough for them to put in an official challenge here as the video coaching duo of Jonas Plum and TJ Ginger looking at it. John Hines being given a lot of time here by referee Chris Rooney to make a decision as he looks at the monitors. And
it doesn't appear it's going to be a challenge.
Wow.
Well, maybe it is going to be a challenge. Again, if they lose this, of course, it'll be shorthanded. Here's the call.
Minnesota is challenging the play to determine if there was goaltender interference prior to the goal.
Thomas, I think we'll get one more look here on the TV monitors, maybe more than that. I'd like to get your take on it because, you were looking at the time clock and how many goals for Cole and rattling off some stats, and I got a glance at it, and I'd like to get your take here.
Definitely goalie interference. He came into the blue paint area and caught the goaltender.
Right, and he wasn't pushed in,
no,
right?
No, he was not pushed in at all. No, he was trying to cut in. He tried to gain control. The puck is what he is trying to do.
He hits the right pad of Gustafson.
Yep, he hit the pad.
And then so did Keller, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And we've seen less get called for goaltender interference. So
flip a coin.
We'll see what the officials determine here, but this is a big spot early in this game.
And I don't think this is going to take him very long. Of course, the commissioner, Gary Bettman, is in attendance. We'll have a chance to visit with him after the second period tonight.
Give Schmaltz credit. He tried to leapfrog Gustafson to keep from making a lot of contact, but he not only caught his right pad, it looked like, but his blocker and stick as well definitely hit the outer half of Schmaltz's right leg as he was trying to jump over the goaltender and avoid the blue paint altogether.
Yeah, and of course this decision will primarily be made in Toronto. Still at the penalty box area right now. Looking at the iPad down there, and they have different angles that they can show the officials down here too and get their input into it. Chris Rooney and Furman South are the referees in this contest. Steve Barton and Ben O'Quinn are the two linesmen.
Well, these two teams last played on December the 20th. Utah was in a better spot than they are now as far as being above 500. They're just 4-8-1 in their last 13 games since a 6-game point streak ended right after they were here last on December the 22nd. When they beat the Wild here on December 20th, it was their fourth straight win. They've been kind of muddling around since.
Here's the call. Chris Rooney making the call, I believe. Nope, it's going to be the other guy.
After the coach's challenge to determine that there was goaltender interference on the play, there is no goal.
That's a huge break. Minnesota's had pretty good luck as of late on those calls.
I think they're 6 for 6 now in the year, Tom. So
you mentioned the guys downstairs also making those calls, helping out here with Jonas Plum and TJ Gindra, helping the officials. They've got to do a lot of work in a hurry, in a few seconds, if they think there's been an infraction made before the goal is counted.
Referee just took a puck as it was lasered in from center. The scorer's table horn went just prior. The penalty box door on the Wild side was still open. One of the referees out at center ice was still talking to Utah head coach Andre Tourigny. And that was Furman South that took that puck that was dumped in. Meanwhile, Rooney was still out in the neutral zone. So they're going to I think we'll go right back to 11:22 left in the first, another neutralized face-off. I don't know why they blew the play dead.
The horn went, and that's why they blew it dead.
Yeah, but why did the horn go is, I guess, what I'm wondering.
Well, maybe they realized that, they weren't ready to drop the puck. Yeah. The guys weren't in position. Furman South taking the brunt of that shot. Those referees do not have a lot of protection, I can tell you that, and hopefully he's okay. Could have been worse. Could have been me.
They're going to put the face-off at the center ice dot now. So things have certainly slowed to a halt here.
Yeah, they're going right back to when the infraction took place, too, on the non-goal call. So we're just starting it right up. That was at 8:38, and we've got 11:22 to go here in the first.
So before the official call that goal was waved off due to goaltender interference, I was talking about Utah again, 4-8-1 their last 13. But winners of back-to-back games, and Andre Tourigny, their head coach, after the win against Winnipeg Monday, and even this morning with the local media, talked a lot about how his team just really wasn't getting the results. They feel like a confident group, this Utah hockey team, and they've come out in the first period here and shown it. Behind his own net, Valimaki. with a feed for Hayton. That's cleared ahead and out to center ice. Grabbing it, Jack McBain. McBain rifles it in. Bukestad comes together with Chisholm. Chisholm did well to one-handed free for Jared Spurgeon. Spurgeon leaks it back the way of Chisholm, who'll fire it up ice for a tip-in by Liam Ogren. Ogren bothers Mata. Came up with the puck for a moment on the forecheck. Wild really want to make this Utah team defend. They're a very good rush team, this Utah Hockey Club, so the Wild want to make them defend, limit their rush chances against. And a little bit more of what we saw Monday in Denver, which was some good presence and poise in the offensive zone, hang on the pucks and make some plays down there. Utah winds his puck through center, grabbing it Faber, knocked along for Middleton. He'll smack it ahead for Ogren, who tips in. John Marino's back. Marino missed the first 42 games of the season. His first year in Utah, they're happy to have him back on the blue line, especially with a guy like Sergachev out missing his third straight game. Now Kesselring behind his own net. Gave it away. Trenyon steals, tries to center. It deflects along. Merrill at the blue line holds in. He'll fire a shot. And that's swallowed up by Vemelka with Jakub Lauko right at the top of the goal crease looking for a rebound.
Yeah, Lauko was standing right there, had to stick out, but unfortunately there's no rebound to be had.
9:44 to go in the first. Timeout here as we're halfway through the opening period in St. Paul. The Wild trail 1-0. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Why is my skin breaking out? What is this spot and why isn't it healing? We all have questions about our skin, and Tureen Dermatology has the answers. With 24 board-certified providers, Tureen Dermatology treats all skin conditions and skin types. Don't delay your routine skin check or getting that odd, funny spot check. Count on Dr. Mohiba Tureen and her team to have all the answers to your skincare concerns. Visit TureenDermatology.com. That's TAREEN Dermatology.com. You'll get in within 3 weeks. Tureen Dermatology. You've got questions, they've got answers.
Well, 9:44 to go here in period number one. It's still a 1-0 hockey game for the visitors coming to town. Utah, of course, the newest franchise in the NHL. Had a chance to be out there with the team, Joe, and going around the nice area. Players really seem to enjoy the mountains in the background and everything else that goes with it out there. Beautiful city.
Well, they've had a bit of a slow start on home ice, Utah has, but the fan support's been outstanding. They're going to continue to work on Delta Center to retrofit it to be a little bit more hockey-friendly, and great ownership group with Ryan and Ashley Smith, the Smith Entertainment Group. And you're right, Tom, I think that the players as a whole, the coaching staff, the trainers, equipment guys, as they get more comfortable there, really will hopefully find it as a solid home for them.
Yeah, and there's work to be done in the arena. Obviously, they built it for basketball, so if you get in the ends, you can't see the net, which is not a good thing to have.
Kesselring to the left circle. Schmaltz spins back. And Schmaltz a long shot, tipped wide by Cooley on the flyby. Cooley's got a 5-game point streak. That was prior to this contest. Schmaltz a 6-game streak. And Clayton Keller, 9 points in his last 4. That is the top line for the Utah Hockey Club is Eriksson Ek in his own zone. Connects with Middleton. Right back to Jules Eriksson Ek. Swerve past the check at center and muscled it to the left wing boards for Faber. It was leaned on by Kesselring. Faber tried to fight off that hit. Cooley took it away. And will move it along for Jack McBain, the former Wild draft pick. John Merrill now deep in his own zone with help coming from Boldy defensively. Boldy able to pry it free to Merrill left side. He'll fling it along. Boldy didn't want to touch it. He was going for a change, and Utah will pick it up. Lawson Krause hands it to Bukestad for a shot. Kick save Gustafson. And the rebound twisted down. Rossi's going to win the foot race. No icing. Marco Rossi in the left wing corner of the Utah zone. Able to churn it down below the goal line where Marino is dealt with by Zuccarello. Now Mata trying to clear out. A couple of former Penguins there as a defense pairing. As Kaprizov uncorked the one-timer wide. Utah gives it away. Kaprizov dancing in the slot, and he flicked another one. Just errant to the cage. That one over the crossbar.
Yeah, quick hands.
The other way comes Josh Doan. Merrill to charge and close on him, and a wrist shot by Doan off the mask of Gustafson. And he's able to hang on. Gustafson shaking that mask a bit. See if he has to reattach one of those straps as he gets a stoppage with 8:07 to go in the first.
Yeah, he took out the helmet right now. Just take a look at it with the referee down there to see if there's any damage to the mask and whether or not he has to change the mask. If there's a dent in there, he's heading to the Minnesota player bench right now. Well, whether you're celebrating Prince night or gearing up with an exclusive Wild Waggle hat, there's a perfect pack for every Wild fan. Get ready for exclusive swag and unforgettable experiences. Browse all packages now at wild.com/pack. And I'm just looking over there, Jordan. Looks like they're going to exchange the helmet. Of course, the players have multiple pieces of equipment. All the guys have 4 or 5 pair of skates and a number of gloves. Goaltenders have to have extra protection also in that head area. Ready for the face-off to the right of Gustafson.
So with a new mask, Gustafson ready to watch this draw to his right. Hayton thrown out. So Donan to take it. The Wild now to adjust their setup here on this D-zone draw. Donan Goudreau on it. Doan muscled it back, but it skips out to center where Ian Cole will come back to pick it up. And now take a return pass from Hayton. Cole launched it through the neutral zone. It's fired up ice looking for Doan, former Arizona State product from his collegiate days. Grew up in Arizona, of course, because I mentioned his father Shane played a long time with the Coyotes. Utah holds in, rifling it around the Wild end glass. Michelli to the left point. Cole loads, fakes a shot, walks in, then risks one that's blocked by Ogren in the corner. Hayton blew a tire looking for the bouncing puck. Spurgeon to Chisholm, and then off for Ogren. He couldn't get it out. Cole swoops it back of the net. Gustafson stopped it. His pass, though, got away from Chisholm. Michelli now up near the blue line. Sent it rink wide. That'll be grabbed by the Wild's Liam Ogren. He'll lead the charge out through the neutral zone and find Marcus Foligno. Spins over the blue line left side. Carved it down low. Vejmelka knocked it away from trouble. Alex Kerfoot to pick it up and chunk it free for Michelli. He had some trouble trying to get it out. Kevin Stenlin, the former Florida Panther, won a Stanley Cup with them last year. Will just give way to Kerfoot, who came through the neutral zone and on a second try pounds it in. Utah was in early. They'll clear the line. John Merrill now for Minnesota to break it out from right to left on your radio dial. Merrill gallops ahead. Whistled it in from center. Vejmelka with his goal stick off to John Marino. Marino smacked one through neutral ice. Skipped away from Kerfoot. Mata to rescue it. D to D for Marino. Marino churns it back to Mata. Right back to Marino. Slowed down at center by Zuccarello. Able to stick handle past that pressure and find Schmaltz. Now a centering feed by Mata, who had joined the rush. That'll be gathered by Clayton Keller. Keller to center point. Marino, rocket of a shot. And that missed high and wide. And Zuccarello able to flick the rebound out through center.
Yeah, I don't think Gus saw that shot at all coming from the point.
Keller right back over the blue line right side. Clayton Keller swings it along for Schmaltz. Schmaltz back to Keller. That puck eluded his tape. Merrill jabs it off the board. Schmaltz holds in. Cycles it down low. Keller. His feed stolen by Merrill. Off to Boldy and quickly moved to Eriksson Ek, who finds Hartman. Hartman tried to go right back to Eriksson Ek and nothing there. Utah looking to counter. A gap up by Middleton, but charging in is Keller. He'll swing it along for Schmaltz. Schmaltz outside the left circle. Twirls it into the corner. Boldy and Keller come together where Boldy's able to protect this puck, dance along, and flip it up ice for Hartman. A chip and chase. Hartman trying to fight past the check. He's in alone, and he couldn't get a good shot off, but a penalty call coming.
Yeah, it's going to go against Hartman on that. Probably a trip or a hook on that one, but nonetheless, it's going to be a call against Minnesota. The first penalty of this hockey game coming at 14 minutes and 31 seconds.
38 Minnesota, 2 minutes tripping.
5:29 to go in the first. Hartman in a puck battle. Upended the defenseman in the eyes of the men in stripes. So the Wild shorthanded when we come back. Down 1-0. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
We
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe Award-winning superstar Mary J. Blige, live in St. Paul. The For My Fans Tour, live at XL Energy Center, March 16th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige, for one night only.
Scored in this hockey game, that being by the Utah Hockey Club. They got the first goal at 1:46 of the first period, with Hayden getting his 10th of this season. DeSimone getting his second assist of the year right now, face-off deep in the Minnesota zone. 5:29 to go here, period number one. Then Minnesota's been outshot 9-5 so far in this hockey game.
Utah had a goal waved off at the 8:38 mark of the period. Coach's challenge by the Wild, and a successful one for goaltender interference. Utah power play in the season series, 3 out of 6 against the Wild PK. Schmaltz at the blue line, found Keller. He had 2 power play goals against the Wild on December the 10th in Salt Lake City, both in the third period. Kesselring feeds Keller, right circle. Clayton Keller twisting it back up top. Kesselring a drive. Blocker save. Gustafsson punching it to his right. Schmaltz and Goudreau battle the rebound. Center point now Kesselring. Surveys. Takes a look. Walks his way in. Fed one left side. And trickled back along Kesselring. Now to Keller faking a one-timer. Handed down low. Cooley right back to Keller. Once again Logan Cooley outside the right circle. Former 3rd overall pick. Logan Cooley dancing with the puck. Pressured by Eric Sinek, who knocks it free. And they've got numbers through the Wild. Short-handed Middleton with Eric Sinek going to the front of the net. Middleton threw one that way. And Eric Sinek couldn't connect on that aerial pass. Utah counters now. Schmaltz over the blue line. Hooked a bit. Comes free. Keller high slot. Dancing left circle. Trying to get a shot through and scores. From an impossible angle, Clayton Keller, the Utah captain, makes it 2-0.
Yeah, that's not the first time he's done that. That's his 51st point of the season. Also, his 17th goal. It makes no mistake with a man advantage as Hartman steps out of the penalty box. Just a good play all the way around. Also, he just fires at it, found the top corner. You saw Gus go down and kind of looking in dismay that it went by him and that over that left shoulder of his, but it's in the net. And with that, on the power play, Minnesota trails 2-0 in this hockey game, and Utah coming out, they've come to play, and they certainly have done that. They had 1 goal disallowed already, but this goal coming at 15 minutes and 55 seconds of period number 1.
On Monday, Clayton Keller took a puck over his right eye, 12 stitches, returned to the game, scored a goal. He's got another one here, and now 10 points his last 5 games, including tonight. He's been red hot. And I know that's an elite shot by an elite scorer, but that's not a good goal from Philip Gustafsson's perspective.
No, you're absolutely right. Here's the call.
Assisted by number 63, Matthias Michelli, and number 8, Nick Schmaltz. Time of the power play goal, 15:55.
Utah came in with the 6th best first period goal differential in the NHL. And they're adding to it here. Now a plus 14 up to the 2nd. In first period goal differential for Utah. Marino at the right point, offensive zone off to Krause, the former Florida Panthers first rounder. He's bothered by Zuccarello. It's shifted down back of the net. Bukestad flicks it along. A long drive from along the boards to the right of Gustafsson. Stopped by Gustafsson. A little trouble there with that loose puck. And it's Kaprizov now to swerve back. Long feed for Rossi. Did get there. Rossi hands it to Zuccarello, dancing through the slot. He was poke checked at the last moment by Marino. Olimata twists one out the center. It's picked up by Chisholm. Lofted free for Rossi. He'll send it into the Utah zone. Less than 3 minutes left in the opening period. The Wild being outshot 13-5, and they trail 2-0 at home. Liam O'Brien on the forecheck. Pressured Chisholm around for Spurgeon. And then a little tip pass by Lauko finds Hustadinov. That ends up deflecting into the stands.
Yeah, I'm sure right now things seem to be a little bit out of sync right now also, Joe, for Minnesota. They're not connecting with those passes the way they should. I don't think they're skating as well as they should be skating also. And the Utah Hockey Club doing the job they have to. They've got that 2-0 lead here right now. They've outshot Minnesota. You're here in St. Paul, 13-5 so far in this first period with 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining.
Off the face-off. Puck comes up near the blue line. DeSimone played it into the corner. Centering pass stolen by Hustadinov. He's leaned on by Liam O'Brien. Now Stenlund just scooping it down off the Wild end glass, where Kerfoot raced to it, just had a Chisholm. He'll feed the point DeSimone. Back to Alex Kerfoot. Kerfoot to center point. Valimaki right back to Kerfoot. Launched along for Stenlund, who's bottled up by Hustadinov, and the Wild take over. Chisholm to his left, just bounces his puck out the center. The Wild need a line change. Utah has brought their skating legs to this one, Tom.
Yeah, they certainly have, but Minnesota's not meeting the challenge by them.
Over the blue line with a ton of real estate before dropping a pass off was Michelli. Goudreau then gave it away. In the slot, Hayton whiffed on a shot. Hayton gets it back. And Goudreau able to steer it off his tape and out to center.
Yeah, Goudreau made a mistake to begin with, but able to get back in position to block the next pass coming through.
Michelli right back over the blue line. Dealing with him, Jake Middleton. Loose puck comes out near the goal mouth. Hayton takes it to the sideboards. Fired a shot. Gustafsson fought it off. Goudreau to the rebound. He'll get it out through the neutral zone where he couldn't dump it in. Trenyon another try for the Wild. This time lasers it deep. 80 seconds left in the opening period. At this point for the Wild, you're thinking about getting to the dressing room, trying to regroup.
Yeah, I think that's what they have to do right now. They just don't seem to. They're not skating with authority.
Ian Cole, a long pass through center, tapped along by Cooley. It goes to Schmaltz. Goudreau runs into him. John Merrill deep in his own zone. Leads the pass to Bogosian. And now the Wild break it out. Liam Ogren at the offensive blue line serves it in. Foligno on the forecheck, tied up by Valimaki. Coming to this puck, Ogren, a right circle shot blocked. It hit a pair of shin pads and careens free where Schmaltz will twist it to Valimaki. Hand it off to Keller. Back for Valimaki. Try to go short side high. Gustafsson made the save. 35 seconds left in the frame. Schmaltz wheels it back of the net. Logan Cooley pitched it right back around for Schmaltz, the former Blackhawk. It's jabbed around a bit, held in by Keller. Scooped it free. Valimaki's got a lane right circle. A shot, kick save, Gustafsson. Boy, he had all kinds of space there.
Boy, he sure did. He wanted to get the shot away in a hurry, though, and did a nice job with it. But Gus was able to throw that pad out and make the good save.
Keller taps in. 8 seconds left in the period. Miller. It is Bogosian now to Erikssonek. Launched the feed ahead. Batted down by Krause. Cleaned up then at center by Utah. And after 20 minutes, again, the road teams won each of the first 2 meetings. And it's Utah 2, Minnesota nothing after 20 here in St. Paul.
Yeah, you look at the power play also. That power play goal by the Utah Hockey Club. And the thing is that by Keller, also his 17th goal of the season. And right now, Minnesota's got to regroup in that locker room, Joe. They're not skating with any authority at all. And the Utah team is really taking them to task because of it.
So an even strength goal early, a power play goal somewhat late, a waved off goal in between. Or it could be a huge deficit for Minnesota. Good news is 40 minutes left. But the Wild trail 2-0 after 20 here in St. Paul. Tom Reed's hotline coming up at the first intermission. Can we share the second intermission guest? Is that cool?
Sure.
Who wants to do it?
Gary Bettman.
Feels like Christmas morning.
Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the National Hockey League, makes his annual trip here to Minnesota.
Pretty cool stuff. That'll be the second intermission. Tom Reed's hotline. Get those questions in coming up right around the corner. Wild trail 2-0 after 20. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
4 teams remain on the road to Super Bowl 59. It all starts with the NFC Championship when the Washington Commanders take on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
And then it's the AFC Championship when the Buffalo Bills take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mahomes tries to throw. Lighton! Touchdown!
Hear coverage leading up to Championship Sunday and post-game reaction and interviews on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Lachlan and Gord Stella. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada face-off associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Now we're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Avalanche General Manager Chris McFarland. What went in to maybe change that duo in goal?
With the work of our scout, Wedgwood's experience, he was a veteran guy, he's been through the grind. We were very bullish on McKenzie, and when the opportunity came to add him, we just felt it was the right move for us, long term.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You could win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
Peyton and Keller, those are the goal scorers. Neither of them played for the Wild. Wild down 2-0 after one period of play, and probably lucky it isn't worse. If you want to get involved in tonight's hotline, please do. Text us your questions, comments, concerns to 64686. On the line, a pair of tickets to see the Wild and Flames on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Thomas, what did you think of that first period? Not a great return home to home ice.
No, it was not, Kevin. No question. But I just don't think we had a lot of jump in that first period. And, give Utah a lot of credit. They came in, their legs were moving, their passing was good. They scored a power play goal. They scored the only 2 goals this hockey game. But they've outshot Minnesota 15-5 in that first period. As good as we saw Minnesota and Colorado in the first 2 periods, we're seeing the opposite here.
Yeah, the foot has come off the gas pedal. It could have been worse, like I said. Ian Cole almost got his second of the year. They decided it was goaltender interference by Nick Schmaltz. You agree with the call?
Yes.
And Jonas Plum?
Yeah, no doubt in my mind it was interference. I mean, the Wild were not even close to the play, but it took his legs right out and knocked into him and changed his angle. So that definitely is the right call.
All right, let's get to our questions here. We'll start with this one from Christy in Bloomington. Saw a ref get injured there in that first period. Did they end up coming back?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. Yeah. So the question from Christy is, let's say the ref did leave and you're now down. Let's say another one gets injured, hypothetically. Is there, like, for goaltenders, there's an e-bug floating around. Is there an e-bug for a ref, like, if they needed to call someone in from the stands?
Not to my knowledge, there is not. But there's a supervisor. Sometimes he may come down and help out, but I don't think that he's going to get back in the ice because the supervisors are not trained to be on the ice at this point. They're just watching. But I don't think I've ever seen a situation where 2 referees or 2 officials have been off the ice.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. We definitely have gotten down to 3 here in recent memory, but I don't think I've ever seen it go down to 2. This one. Well, let's go this one from Dan in Wisconsin. Of course, the big talking points coming into this one, the return of Kirill Kaprizov, the return of Jared Spurgeon. What have you thought with 20 minutes under their belt?
Haven't noticed them too much at this point. I mean, but it's not just them, it's the whole entire team, and I hope the team isn't waiting for them to step up, so they'll step up. They've got to take kind of the lead on here. Remember, these two guys have not played in a while, so you just don't step into it and think you're going to be at 100%. It takes a while to get back into that game shape we talk about all the time.
Looking real quick at the stat line, Kirill Kaprizov, 2 attempts at a shot, nothing hit the net. For Jared Spurgeon, 5 minutes of ice time, no hits, no shots, nothing stands out. Again, that's just 20 minutes of hockey to talk about, so we'll see how the game goes from this point forward. My screen went dark. This one, back in the day, not that long ago, Darby Hendrickson was an eye in the sky in the coaching ranks for the Minnesota Wild. This question from Brian is, Tom, do NHL teams and coaches still have that guy in the press box? Does anyone have communication with the guys up here?
Yeah,
in the press box?
Shabbat, the goaltender,
Freddie Shabbat,
coach up on top here. He'll be watching, and but he's paying more attention to his netminder than anything else. But at the same time, he's kind of the eye in the sky.
Like, I don't remember which coach it was under. I don't think it was Boudreau, but Darby would be on the bench, or he'd be up here and be able to talk to him via an earpiece. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it still is. Yeah, they can discuss things from up here to the bench, but it'll be one of the assistant coaches that will wear that earpiece.
All right. Tom, let's see. This one's from the 763 area code. When playing a new club like Utah, is that tougher to discern what this club? And maybe that's a misnomer because this isn't a new club.
No, it's not a new club. It's a transfer, is what it is, of the old Arizona Coyotes coming out of Glendale to begin with. That didn't work out, so they went to the campus of the university there, Arizona State, and that didn't work out too well for them. A very small arena, less than 5,000 people, and finally they said enough is enough. They allowed this team to move. There's quite a few, though. I believe I think it was 1.2 billion in order to get the franchise to go there. But it's looked upon as a new franchise, not a relocate.
Okay. From the 952 area code, this texter notices that you're going to have Gary Bettman on in the second intermission. When Gary Bettman steps down, Tom Reed, do you have any interest in being the commissioner of the National Hockey League?
Well, of course I do. But I also want to be able to fly, too. I have an interest in that, but I can't do that either. So I think I'll just leave it at that. But, you know what? There's a lot of controversy all the time when you're in a position like his. We'll have a chance to visit with him. And it's a tough position. You're trying to keep, the owners of 32 teams happy, and that isn't always the case. But I think he really has done a marvelous job in building this sport and watching it grow since he took over in 1993.
I'm glad that he's kind of wrapped his arms around the fact that he's booed everywhere he goes. I don't know that it's anything personal at this point. I think it's more out of habit than anything, and he just kind of takes it in. He just kind of enjoys it, I think, to a degree.
I think he does, too. If he doesn't get booed, then he says they're not even paying attention. I'm out there. So I agree with that 100%.
Let's see if I can squeeze this one in. Connor McDavid recently suspended 3 games for a high stick, a cross-check, whatever it was. Tom, this question from the 218 area code. Do you think the suspension of McDavid and getting 3 games had anything to do with the fact that he got away scot-free with the elbow to Johansson's beak?
I don't think so. I don't think he got away with one there, and I think the league should have stepped in and done something there. Maybe that would have curtailed what happened the next game. But he got up, and I understand that he was being held and he was being wrestled and so on, the frustration. But you don't take your stick and cross someone in the head. He did that, and it's going to cost him $195,000 to be not exactly, but somewhere in that range. It never happened to me. I had to pay that much. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no kidding. Thomas, thank you very much, and we look forward to your conversation in the second intermission with the commissioner.
Thank you.
There he goes, Tom Reed in the Al Shaver press box doing Tom Reed's hotline. Someone's going to get a pair of tickets to see the Wild and Flames nightcap on Hockey Day, Minnesota. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you can check us out. If you don't get that text, we'd love to have you. Wild.com/tickets. Wild are down 2-0 after one period of play. Full recap is next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Tired of those sad, puny little cookies that leave you wanting something better? Try T-Rex half-pound cookies. Yes, that's right, people. Half a pound. Find us at every Minnesota Wild home game because who wants a snack that's smaller than a puck? Oh, and for those of you who can't wait, grab our frozen cookie dough at your local grocery store and pretend you made them yourself. Or come visit us at our bakery in Eagan. T-Rex cookie, because life's too short for tiny treats.
To start the Wild at hoped for, coming back to St. Paul after a nice 3-1 win on Monday afternoon in Denver, Colorado. They come home and they're getting spanked here in this first period. The good thing is, lots of hockey left, but after one period of play, the Wild are down 2-0. Hayton, a minute 46 in. Keller at the 15:55 mark on the power play. In between that, Ian Cole had one waved off for goaltender interference. And the result, the Wild are down 2-0 after 20 minutes of play to the Utah Hockey Club. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Everything is better on ice. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Wild outshot 15-5 through 20 minutes of play. Philip Gustafsson between the pipes stops 13 of 15. Karel Vejmelka, all 5 shots he faced, he was able to turn away. Thus far, the Utah Hockey Club is a perfect 1-for-1 on the man advantage. The Wild yet to skate on the power play. The big story coming into tonight, the return of Jared Spurgeon and Kirill Kaprizov. That's still the real deal. Good to have them back on the ice, but right now they need a spark going into this second period because they trail the Utah Hockey Club 2-0 on home ice. We'll break, and then when we continue, we got the middle frame. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The Royal
Golf Club is the Twin Cities' newest private club and the official golf club of the Minnesota Wild. Designed by legends Arnold Palmer and Annika Sorenstam, the Royal Golf Club features an 18-hole championship golfing experience along with world-class dining and club amenities. The Royal Golf Club, located just minutes from downtown St. Paul, blends a unique private club sophistication within a relaxed, natural setting. If you'd like more information about Royal Golf Club and limited membership offers, please visit RoyalClubMN.com today.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
Back for the second period. Xcel Energy Center here in St. Paul, where the Wild, well, looking to flip the script from the opening frame. Outshot 15-5, down 2-0. Utah had a goal waved off as well due to a successful coach's challenge by the Wild. Tom, knowing John Hines, knowing the leadership on this team, my guess is some choice words were said in between the first and second period. I expect the Wild to come out ready to go. You?
I would hope so, Joe. After that first period, they better, because Minnesota, when they trail after the first period, their record is 6-8-1. So they've won 6 and they've lost 9. And you look at the opponent, that being, of course, Utah. After the first period, they're leading. They have gone 7-3-6. So they've won 7, lost 9. But at the same time, Minnesota's got to find a way to get some energy here.
Shot by Ogren right off the hop. A one-timer set up by Goudreau and a kick save by Vejmelka. Liam Ogren to his own rebound. Back at the point, a drive by Chisholm. And that deflected just wide. So at least the first few seconds of this opening shift in period 2. Some jump here for the Wild. Ogren leaned on by Kesselring. Kesselring trying to clear it out. Jack McBain swooped to it. The Boston College product labels it through center, where Lawson Krause rims it around the boards. Big Nick Bukestad to jar it back around the dasher. Krause grabs it, centers. Keller fresh off the bench. Along now where Bukestad at the end of his shift flips it back of the net. Chisholm grabs it, fanned on his first pass, nearly lost his footing, and then stashed it along for Goudreau to find Foligno for a tip out for Matt Boldy. And now Spurgeon, barely onside, they say. Spurgeon fumbled away a chance. Boldy couldn't pull the trigger. Keller counters. Keller to Schmaltz, right circle, looking for a return feed, hit some skates. Ricochets around. John Marino into the corner for Clayton Keller, who's closed on by Brock Faber. Now Jared Spurgeon, the Wild captain, and Edmonton, Alberta native, to Boldy. Up ice it goes. Hartman chasing to it. Hartman just lifts it in the left wing corner for Jules Eriksson. It was pinned up by Oli Mata, and Utah able to steer this puck safely through center. 90 seconds gone by in the second period. The Wild down 2-0. They skate from left to right on your radio dial in the second. Utah countering from right to left. Kaprizov bothered Hayton at center. His goal opened the scoring for Barrett Hayton, the former first-round pick. They'll chase to a loose puck now behind the net of Gustafson. Wheeled it to the point, Ian Cole, a hurry drive. That's blocked to the corner. Winning the foot race was Doan. Smacked it back around the boards. Cole pinches in, lobbed it around the Wild net again, where Doan waits for it right wing corner. Just kind of shuffled it free. Faber gallops to it. Now Jake Middleton with a pass a little behind Rossi, but he handled it well and got it at least out to center. Rossi then had to push it back in his own zone. Gustafson to Faber, right side. Now Kaprizov through neutral ice, slowed down. And boy, still not a lot of room for the Wild coming through the neutral zone cleanly, Tom.
No, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, Minnesota's got to find a way to get that puck in the offensive zone, which they've not been done so far in the second period.
Liam O'Brien twisted one in, but Utah was in a touch early. The visitors offside here with 2:27 gone by in the second period.
Well, whether you're celebrating Prince Night or gearing up with an exclusive Wild Waggle hat, there's a perfect pack for every Wild fan. Get ready for exclusive swag and unforgettable experiences. Browse all packages now at wild.com/pack.
Husnudinov and Kerfoot on the draw. And now Husnudinov thrown from the circle. Trenyon comes in to take it. Bogosian to Merrill. Popped off the left wing boards off the one draw. He was hoping for Lauko. Nothing there. Utah springs it in. Liam O'Brien looks to buzz in on the forecheck. 3 straight seasons with 100 or more penalty minutes for the man they call Spicy Tuna, I believe. Big Tuna. Some form of tuna is Liam O'Brien's nickname. Not sure where that comes from, Tom Reed, but it's a good one.
Sounds fishy to me.
Merrill right wing corner, right through his own goal mouth. Bogosian hacked it ahead, cut off by Krauts. Had to wait for his line mates to clear. And because of that, Husnudinov able to take it back away. Bogosian gets it to Merrill. He'll sky it ahead as Krauts took a run at Merrill out in the neutral zone. Those two come together again. This time Merrill able to pound the puck in from center. John Marino squeezed it along. Ole Mata's got some room left side. Outlet for Bukestad. Nick Bukestad had a hat trick in this building last year while skating for the Coyotes, of course. Utah with a shot on goal. Not much trouble there for Gustafsson and a turnover. Loose puck foot race, and boy, McBain just snatched it away from Chisholm. Following up the play, though, is Ogren.
Yeah, good play by McBain. Had the long stick.
Ogren through the slot with a wrister. Trouble there for Vejmelka. Freddie Gaudreau to the rebound. They'll tap to the left point. Chisholm hustled it rink wide. Dangerous pass, but a good one. Spurgeon in with a right circle shot. Pushed it wide. Chisholm to gallop to it. To the high slot it comes Foligno. Angles up near the left point mark is Foligno. Saucered one to the slot. Gaudreau had it bounce away. Ogren chunks it into the corner. Gaudreau from low to high for Chisholm. At the left point, Declan Chisholm feeds it to Spurgeon. Hand along to Ogren. A return pass a touch too far, but the Wild win the foot race, at least here momentarily. Spurgeon hauled down. Puck underneath him here for a moment. All this to the right of Vejmelka, deep in the Utah zone. Almost 4.5 minutes played in the second as Chisholm just springs one along it, leaks out the center, and Spurgeon's back together.
Yeah, and Joe, that shift by Minnesota may have been the longest they've been in the offensive zone in this game.
Boldy on the forecheck. Harassed Vejmelka, who's out near the trapezoid-shaped area. Failed clear by Utah. Faber holds in. Back of the net, Rossi. Marco Rossi trying to shake free. Feeds the point for Faber. Given along Zuccarello. Long wrister. Blocked away there by Vejmelka. He got his blocker up and punched it away. The Wild to the rebound. Boldy high slot. Hands it to Zuccarello. Trying to center. And that's taken away. Cooley got through center ice. Lost it. Rossi taps back. So that shift, at least, Rossi, Zuccarello, and Boldy together. Here is Boldy headmanning. Zuccarello bursts in. Left circle a shot. Blocker save Vejmelka. Just a much better start to overall for Minnesota, Tom, here in the second.
Yeah, it really is, Joe. No question about it. They're moving their legs, and that's the reason they're having a little more success in this period. Right now, the shots are Minnesota's had, 4 shots to 1 on the other side, so a little bit better in period number 2.
Boldy finds Faber, return pass block. Middleton collects the loose change, hacked it ahead. Good play by Rossi to knuckle it free Zuccarello. He was surrounded by white jerseys and couldn't do much from the high slot. Kaprizov steps out onto the ice, takes a Spurgeon pass, bolts over the blue line right side. Kaprizov just chucks it in the corner. Chisholm in there at pressure. That allowed Kaprizov to steal. Threw one in front for a little tip by Eriksson Ek. Handled by Vejmelka. The rebound flicked along the boards and out the center it goes. So it's Eriksson Ek with Hartman and Kaprizov now, as at least one change in the early portion of the second period as far as the Wild forward lines go. Kesselring around his own net for Utah. Smacked one off the dasher. Doan's got some room to rumble. Josh Doan floats one right side. Michelli tried a little short side backhander, and Gustafsson made the save.
Yeah, good play by Michelli, and the little backhand there trying to go top shelf on that one. Didn't make it.
Spurgeon fires one through center, stolen by Kerfoot. They'll label it in the Wild zone. Loose puck grabbed by Minnesota. Chisholm to Kaprizov. Kirill Kaprizov in a 3-on-3. Smacked it left side. Husnudinov in with a shot. Vejmelka made the save. It's loose. Poked free by Utah, not cleared. Bogosian rolls it to the left side. Merrill on the pop-out play. Husnudinov. He'll cruise it back to Bogosian, right point. Bogosian back to Husnudinov. Twisting with it near the blue line. Feathered one in front. Bouncing puck jabbed at by Merrill. As he got to in the goal mouth, but Vejmelka salts it away.
Minnesota getting a little more offense going in period number 2.
13:07 left in the second. Still a 2-0 deficit for the Wild here at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Get to know the contenders for music's highest honor, from country to pop, rock to hip-hop, and beyond. The 67th Annual Grammy Awards nominees have their own SiriusXM destination, the Grammy Channel. For a limited time on SiriusXM 17. And at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gore, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Well, 13:07 to go here in period number 2. Minnesota picking up the pace in this second period. They did not do much in the first period. They outshot 16-5, but right now they've outshot the opposition in period number 2, 7-1. Right now they face off deep in the Utah zone. Minnesota trying to win these draws and get some more pucks to the net.
Off the draw, Bogosian kept in for a minute. Now it's spun loose by Utah. It'll trickle down the ice. John Merrill's back to pick it up. Hammered it off the left wing boards where Lauko kicked it free. Husnudinov trying to charge up. He's stripped. Kerfoot rumbles right back in. Kerfoot with a drive. That's blocked. Husnudinov will swing it along Bogosian. Hacks it ahead for Merrill. And John Merrill just chops it into the Utah end. On the forecheck. Wild trying to come up with it. Merrill keeps the line, feathered one towards the slot, stolen by Olli Mata. And a couple of Stanley Cups in Pittsburgh, playing with Marc-Andre Fleury. They'll fire it in from center ice. Merrill was looking for Trenyon on a right wing breakout, little trouble there. Liam O'Brien sends it back into the Wild zone. Merrill to Gaudreau. Good up ice pass for the weak side D. Faber leads the charge. Brock Faber, it's the offensive blue line, spears it around the boards. McBain tried to push it back behind his own net. 8 minutes played in the second. Puck comes to Faber, right side. D to D, Middleton. Up high, Ogren's shot that hit a body and glanced just wide. Foligno to the carom. He's checked by Valimaki. Marcus Foligno with some support coming from Ogren. It's chiseled down near the goal line now. Couple bodies from each team in there trying to pry it free. It ended up rolling right through the goal mouth, where Bukestad serves it out to center. Faber is back, takes a look, and then angles it free for Jake Middleton. Middleton twists along. Up ice for Freddie Gaudreau. Gaudreau to Foligno, one touch in. Pamelka out with his goal stick to stop it. Smacked it off the glass. Schmaltz did well to fight that bouncing puck down to the ice. His feed for Keller went too far. Foot race here. And icing. Chisholm was there just ahead of Logan Cooley.
Yeah, Minnesota getting better opportunities now in period number 2. Whatever is said in the locker room, I think, has picked up the pace a little bit for Minnesota. Hopefully that will continue. And it'll bring to the right of the Utah netminder.
Off the draw, it is Chisholm. Speeding one to Spurgeon. Swung along for Zuccarellos. Pressured immediately by DeSimone. It's flipped behind the net for Rossi to go to work. Marco Rossi coming out on his forehand right circle. To center point, Zuccarello, long shot. Deflected a couple of times on the way by, and it went wide. Boldy charging to it. Now Declan Chisholm. Look to go back behind the net for Boldy. Good stick there by the Utah Hockey Club in the form of DeSimone to break that up. And it's lofted up ice now where Gustafsson has to come out and chip that puck away from trouble. Cooley had it taken away by Spurgeon. Zuccarello paddles it free. Rossi goes rink wide. Boldy with pressure staring him down. Punches it the way of Spurgeon. Great up ice pass. Zuccarello's got a step left circle. Trying to spin and twist it.
Okay.
Fanned on it, but a penalty call.
Well, it's going to be a slashing call. Either way, it's going to be a stick infraction, and Minnesota will go on their first power play of this hockey game.
28 Utah, minor penalty slashing.
And there's sometimes you take a penalty, which is a good penalty, and that is a good penalty to take. Ian Cole, the longtime defenseman, now in his 15th year in the league, takes that penalty, and Minnesota goes in the power play for the first time tonight. 9:31 the time of the penalty. Minnesota trailing by a score of 2-0.
Wild power play 0 for 7 in the first two meetings against Utah. John Hines saying this morning that they've got to have good entries. They've got to win puck battles, and he said in zone we got to move it quick. Those are the keys to the Wild power play here in the third meeting out of 4 between these two teams. The Wild go back to Salt Lake City one more time February the 27th. So it took a while to get Ian Cole in the penalty box, but he's there now. And Tom said Wild's first man advantage. Off the one draw, Zuccarello to the point. Spurgeon patrols the blue line. Shifted it back, Zuccarello. To the goal line, Kaprizov goes right back, left wing side. Zuccarello to the point, Spurgeon. Back to Zuccarello, left circle, a shot blocker, save Vejmelka. Kaprizov trickled the rebound up top. Spurgeon hustled it along. Zuccarello left side, a shot. It glanced off a body, caught the netting, and a whistle.
And that is going to keep the face-off, I believe, deep in the Utah zone. And you're right. I mean, talking about moving the puck quickly, and that's what you want to do. You want to try and move the trees, I call them, out there when they're trying to kill off a penalty, get that square going, the four corners, and try and move them all over the place and get them off balance a little bit.
Since the last meeting between these two teams, the Utah Hockey Club with the league's top-ranked penalty kill. Basically about 90% since late December. At center point, Spurgeon feeds it Zuccarello, a shot blocker, save Vejmelka. Kaprizov to the rebound. He drove one from a tough angle, and Vejmelka able to hang on.
Yeah, good play by Vejmelka, make the first save, and then finally the puck came back to him and just grab onto that one. That'll get the stoppage. You look at his last 9 games also that he has played. He's gone 2-6-1 in that stretch, and in those 9 games he's got 27 goals. That's on the average of 3 goals per game, which is a lot. These two teams will meet again in Utah back in February the 27th.
Utah, the team that has spent the most time shorthanded on a per-game average. Second most shorthanded on a per-game average in the NHL. So they haven't been exactly disciplined their first season in Salt Lake City. The penalty kill has been much improved. Last time these two sides played, Utah was 20th in the league in the PK department. Now they're 10th. Spurgeon through the high slot. Feeds Boldy. Patiently with it, Boldy. Left wing hash mark Zuccarello, able to attack with some ice in front of him, but his pass across the green tips out the center. I'd like to see Zuccarello shoot the puck from those spots, Tom.
Absolutely. He's got a lethal shot also.
Kaprizov lost the handle. Utah clears down. 9 minutes left in the second. Wild down 2-0, but they've evened up the shots in a hurry here. Down just 17-16 in that department now. Power play under a half-minute left. Freddie Gaudreau attacks. He's leaned on by Valimaki. DeSimone rattled around the boards, kept in by Faber, and now it's chipped ahead. Short-handed Cooley with Kerfoot. It's Kerfoot left circle, unable to take that pass. It bounced away.
Yeah, he was looking away. That's why he was looking where he was going to go with the puck, and he just lost sight of it.
So the Wild get out of the woods in that short-handed odd man rush. Faber in the dying second to the power play. Up and ahead for a tip-in by Ogren with his goal stick Vejmelka. Got it up, not out. Rossi held the line. Power play, though, is over as Rossi scales one along the glass, and the Wild look to hunt it down. Hartman poked it free. Left side, Middleton. Pinned up by Ian Cole. Good feed by Middleton to find Ogren. Ogren swats one down below the goal line. Hartman spun out of the left wing corner. Cross-ice pass. Rossi lost it. Faber gathers. Punched it down low. Rossi a one-touch for Hartman. Threw one in front. It hit the skates of Cole. Glances free for Rossi. Now the blue line, Faber. And he lost it out to center.
Yeah, once again, he took his eye off the puck there momentarily and just lost at the edge of the blade.
Rossi on a reset, sent it back in. Wild changing on the fly. Under 8 minutes to go in period 2. Here's Clayton Keller peeling it back for DeSimone. His pass to Valimaki went errant. Trenyon with some help from Bogosian, able to get the puck just back out to the neutral zone. Hayton then closed on by Bogosian. And so following it up, Valimaki punches it in from the neutral zone. Behind his own net is John Merrill. A long up ice pass. Trenyon couldn't grab it cleanly. This is icing on Minnesota.
And that will bring the faceoff back deep in the Minnesota zone. Minnesota not allowed to make any player changes because they created the whistle by the icing call. That'll come to the right of Philip Gustafsson, trying to regain his form. He was so good a couple years ago, and he started off this season, Joe, that he won a lot of games for this hockey club. Played very well, but gone into a little bit of a lull here right now, which is hard for a goaltender. Some goaltenders to kind of keep it out of their mind.
Lauko off a shot that went wide from the blue line. Chops out the center. Utah's back on it. Kesselring to Schmaltz. He'll peel it into the Wild zone. Merrill off his end boards. Right wing corner Bogosian kept it coming along the dasher. Cole gapped up. And Utah stays in business here for a moment. The Wild now to try the left wing side. Merrill a little bouncing feed. Knocked down by Keller. It comes back to John Merrill. Just hit 650 career games over the weekend in Nashville. Did John Merrill as Trenyon tries to split the defense. Nothing there. Kesselring right side past Lauko and ahead for Doan. Josh Doan races along. Hip check by Chisholm. Got a chunk of them. And now it's Lauko off the boards left side and safely through centers. The Wild live to fight another day. Under 6.5 minutes left in period 2. Doan a chip and chase. He'll gather left wing corner offensive end. Spurgeon works him over. Chisholm took the puck away. Gallops out right side. Here's Declan Chisholm. Trying to get through the neutral zone cleanly. Couldn't. Mata to John Marino. And back to Ole Mata. Flicks it along Michelli. Fed Hayton. Dropped it off. A tip by Krause. Gathered by Marino. Hounded there. And Goudreau, who lost his stick, he broke it in that exchange. Able to just soccer style out the center. Lauko couldn't come up with it cleanly. Back over the blue line comes Mata. Mata left side, a shot, and they score. A long-range knuckler that tipped, and it's 3-0.
Well, that's not what we expected in this contest tonight, but that's the way it's going to be right now. And Minnesota's got to be finding a way to get some shots, some quality shots in that, which they're not getting. Amano just comes in here from the left side and just caught something.
Krause, I think, poked it out of midair, Tom. Spurgeon tipped it first, and it was knuckling, short side. And Krause somehow just one-touched it in.
Yeah, just getting to the front of the net again. And just skating through that area just outside the crease. You got a piece of it. And that puts it away at 14 of the second period.
So the deficit at 3 for the Wild. And there's only been a handful of times this year where they've scored more than 3 in a game on home ice. So they're going to have to turn the tide here at XL Energy Center offensively in a hurry. Or they're in danger of falling back to just 500 in this building. Boldy battles offensive zone. It was knocked free. Zuccarello keeps it alive off to Rossi. Rossi checked as he spun. Play continues. Boldy battles against Cole. Boldy ties it up along the dasher. Rossi joined the fray. He was tripped. Penalty call. Good job by the officials to see that little leg whip on Rossi in the corner. And the Wild down 3-0. Going to head to a power play after this timeout. 5:07 left in the second period. The Minnesota man advantage hoping for a spark when we come back.
Utah 82, 2 minutes for tripping.
You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small. some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Scoreboard update. Lots of action tonight in the National Hockey League. Games in progress include in Boston. The Bruins are clinging to a 1-0 lead at home over the Senators. 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Red Wings are up 4-2 at home against the Canadiens. 5:25 left in that one. Rangers have opened up a 4-1 lead over the Flyers. About 5 minutes left to go in that one. How about in Carolina? The Hurricanes and Blue Jackets have accounted for 10 goals. 6 of them have gone to the Hurricanes. They're down to about 5 minutes left to go in that one as well. And in St. Louis, the Golden Knights have opened up a 3-1 lead over the St. Louis Blues. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Well, Minnesota's going in the power play right now. They had 4 shots in the previous power play. See if they can do something with it right now at this point. But that's going to be Stenlund who goes to the penalty box on the tripping call. Face off deep in the Utah zone.
Minor penalty. Utah.
So we'll see if the Wild power play can provide a spark here. Schmaltz and Eriksson Ek on the draw. Eriksson Ek has Kaprizov to his right, Boldy over his right shoulder. Zuccarello dead left, and at the left point, Jared Spurgeon. Off the draw, the Wild emerge. Zuccarello to the point. Spurgeon wrists a shot off the glove of Amelka, glances corner Marino, frisbees it down.
By number 2, Oli Mata. Again, 14-14 time to goal. Kraus Mata for Utah.
Here is Matt Zuccarello hitting the red line left side, golfing it in. Cole slowed it down. Boldy reached for it. Now Kaprizov attacking right circle. Down low, Boldy twisted in front. Sailed it short side high, and they got cross-checked down from behind. And Utah emerges with this puck. Schmaltz sends it down.
Yeah, Schmaltz doing a good job just getting that puck flinging all the way down the ice. That allows their team to get some fresh skaters on the ice.
Left to right on your radio dial. Kirill Kaprizov leads the power play up and ahead. Now Boldy chiseled it into the corner. Marino jars it around. Cooley couldn't come up with the bouncing puck. Centering feed. Boldy swiped at it. And the Wild can't come up with it cleanly. Ian Cole pushes it down again.
Yeah, once again, you look at the battles for the puck also, and it seems to me that Utah's won the majority of those battles.
Spurgeon finds Boldy. Lifted back for Jared Spurgeon. Last game was December the 31st. Wild sorely missed their captain, Zuccarello, over the blue line. To Spurgeon, back to Zuccarello, quickly hustled along for Kaprizov. His cycle attempt for Hartman was blocked. Hartman hustles to at least pin up a man so Zuccarello can dig the puck free. Carries around the net of Amelka. Here's Matt Zuccarello lifting one of the slot. Faber, a wrist shot right off the bench. And Vejmelka, the glove save, the rebound, pried down.
Yeah, nice play with Zuccarello. Put it right on the stick of Faber, who got the shot away, but right at the goaltender.
A lot of one and dones, though, as far as a shot and the rebound being cleared down. The Wild power play so good, as many man advantages are, when they can retrieve some of those loose pucks. Another clear by Utah. Gustafsson stops it. Faber behind his own net with Stenlund about to jump out of the penalty box. Brock Faber rolls it free. Gaudreau darts along, flipped it off, left side, charging in. Rossi cutting out in front with a shot off the goalpost. And Utah spring it ahead. Middleton stole a pass for Keller, who would have been off to the races. Middleton back over the blue line, had some trouble with the puck, has to regather at center, found Hartman. Hartman had his stick lifted. Middleton follows it up, smacked it down low for Rossi, cutting around the net of Vejmelka. Marco Rossi out through the high slot, hands it to Liam Ogren. Ogren cut down low, danced behind the net. Ogren on the left wing side, fed the point for Middleton. Handed along for Faber. Faber, little stop and go move, shook free, played it back up top. Middleton, a shot tipped down and bounced past Faber. It'll leak to the boards. 2:22 to go. Second period. Wild down 3-0. Loose puck side of the Utah cage. They jab away, and Vejmelka puts his glove on top of it. 2:15 left in the second. A lot of work to do for the Wild. Trailing 3-0 at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
When disaster strikes your commercial or multifamily property, every second counts. That's why property managers and business owners trust Clean Response. Clean Response is the Midwest premier provider of comprehensive water damage and fire damage restoration services. Our expert team is available 24/7 to minimize disruption and help restore your property after loss. With decades of experience and cutting-edge technology, we handle everything from small incidents to large-scale emergencies. Visit cleanresponse.com or call 651-646-3408 to learn more.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Well, 2:15 to go here in period number 2. Both teams with 18 shots, but the unfortunate part for Minnesota is they are trailing 3-0 in this hockey game. Right now, the face-off is going to be deep in the Utah zone. 5-on-5. Minnesota a better second period, but once again, they have not found the back of the net, and they haven't had really a lot of good quality chances.
Utah had just 18 shots the last time these two teams met here on December the 20th. That was a 1-1 game after 40. Utah won eventually 2-1. They have 18 here late in the second. They had 15 in the opening frame alone. Foligno trying to get in on the forecheck was knocked down. Play continues. Cole back of the cage. As Utah with a very controlled breakout here. Cole a long pass. Bukestad try to fire it in. Batted away by Bogosian. Now Ian Cole firing one off the boards that Krause couldn't come up with. Foligno hits the offensive blue line left side. Try to center. A quick shot by Ogren. That's tipped out of play. But Liam Ogren, Tom, feels like every time he's on the ice, he's got the puck. He's around the puck. He's trying to fire shots to the net. It's a good sign.
Yeah, it really is. And you watch him out there also. I mean, he looks like he has a lot of energy, and that's what you're looking for from a player of his caliber. This is game number 11 for him on the year. He's picked up a couple of assists. He had 2 assists at Colorado, where I think we talked about before the fact he was a +3 in that hockey game. In the game before that, and of course in Nashville, he was a -4 in that game. So he learned a lot in that game. He learned that it's better to be on the plus side than the minus side.
I'm sure he had much more fun on the post-game flight Monday as opposed to Saturday. Off the face-off, Boldy tries to center. Rossi had it for a moment. It's tap free. Spurgeon a nice keep at the point. He's able to sneak it deeper into the Utah zone. Mata leaned on by Rossi. Carved it along for Doan, who chunked at a bouncing puck. Wild hold in for a moment. Now Utah able to free it up. Mata at the red line left side. Steers it in. Penalty call coming. As Mata was clipped at center.
Yeah, it's going to be a high stick, I believe. So that does not sit well. Obviously, Minnesota just can't get any traction in this hockey game.
.23 Minnesota, minor penalty, high sticking.
So Rossi goes to the penalty box. This coming at 18 minutes and 42 seconds. Not much for the fans here to cheer about in this game. At least not yet.
No, you're in the territory now of this is a must kill, right? I mean, you don't want to go down 4-0 by any stretch. I don't care how much time is left.
Yeah,
Wild right. PK, got to come up here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And of course, Utah already has 1 power play goal in this hockey game.
Minor penalty.
And they have 4 in the 3 meetings, including tonight in the season series. So Rossi in the box for high sticking, late stages second period. The Wild down 3-0 at home. Minnesota lost its last 2 home games prior to this one. And 3 of 5 in the loss column for the Wild in this building. PK able to clear out through center ice. Eriksson hustles to a loose puck. Try to jam one back through center for Middleton. Then hit a body and careens free. As we hit the final minute now of the second. Kesselring a drop pass. It's gathered by Schmaltz, who feathered it along looking for Keller. And this goes errant and icing on Utah.
That's not they're looking for. But right now, Utah doesn't need more goals. If they can get the opportunity, they will take it. But at the same time, they're going to think more of a defensive posturing in this hockey game. 49.1 seconds remaining in this second period. Rossi in the box for another minute and 31 seconds.
Schmaltz and Husnudinov on the draw. Now Husnudinov thrown out. He'll slide to the right of Foligno, comes in to take it. And now it looks like Husnudinov was not thrown from the circle, so he comes back in, and Foligno goes back to his right. Husnudinov wins this draw back. Middleton will just take it out to center to rag some time before slipping it back down the ice. Kesselring behind his own net. With the pressure of Foligno peeling away. Here's Michael Kesselring carving it back for Clayton Keller. Keller, a draw past Schmaltz at the blue line. Turned it over. Bogosian trying to tap free. Husnudinov able to fight a bit through center. And then lost the puck. Down to Cooley. Logan Cooley trying to shake loose. He gave it away. Husnudinov twists through center with a dozen seconds left in the period. Marat Husnudinov feathers it off to Foligno. Dying seconds of period 2. He'll protect and then just knuckle it back out to center. And that's going to take us the second intermission. The crowd not pleased.
No, they're not. And certainly the players aren't pleased also on the Minnesota side. Right now the Shots have the Utah Hockey Club in the lead in that department. They have 18 shots so far. That means they had just 2 in the second period. Minnesota won up with 12 shots in the second period. They now have 17.
NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman joins Tom Reed at the second intermission. You won't want to miss that conversation. It comes your way next after 40 minutes. The Wild down 3-0. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Tennis fans, the first Grand Slam of the year, the 2025 Australian Open, is upon us. Sirius XM will take you to Melbourne for every game, set, and match.
The dream has been realized on Rod Laver Arena.
Here's Sirius XM's coverage of the 2025 Australian Open on ESPN Extra, Channel 81, and on the Sirius XM app. If you love tennis, your center court is Sirius XM.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA, Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us, and I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada face-off associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
We're talking about 2 of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names Sports are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Welcome back to St. Paul, the XL Energy Center. After 2 periods of play, the hometown fans are not very happy. Their team is trailing by a score of 3-0. I'm Tom Reed. Pleased to be joined with the NHL Commissioner, Gary Bettman. Gary, first of all, welcome to the club. Welcome to the team. I wish we had a better showing from our home fans and for the players as well.
You know, our competitive balance is so good. No lead is safe, and you see that night after night. Who knows what's going to happen in the third period? Yeah. And people say the 3-0 lead is the worst.
Well, we hope that's going to be the case. We'll see in the final 20 minutes, or maybe more than that. But, you know, it's interesting. You've been with it as a commissioner since, 1993?
Yes.
You've seen a lot happen over the years, and I'm going through and looking at the things you have had to deal with, the COVID and the relocation and expansion, and it goes on and on. Is there ever a day you can go in the office and just say, hey, is there no crisis today that I have to deal with?
No, first of all, you wouldn't say that because you would jinx yourself. I am, even after 3 decades, as energized and as passionate about what I do as I've ever been, and it's an honor to do what I get to do. We've got great people in this game at all aspects, whether it's the players, off-ice personnel, people who cover the game and bring it to our fans. And so I love what I do, and I think the game, speaks for itself these days in terms of how fast, how competitive, how entertaining it is.
And you're right. You cannot pick a winner in these games today. It's really difficult. I stay out of the betting part of things, that's for sure. But at the same time, these
I'm glad
teams,
to hear that.
Yeah. Well, because of the cap situation, it really has brought the teams closer together, and it's really difficult. It used to be like if you're in New York or Toronto or Detroit, you could spend money. Now you don't have that money anymore.
Well, they can spend money, but only to a certain extent. Right. And it's the cap coupled with revenue sharing, so that all teams can afford to compete. And the notion is, we want you as a fan, no matter who you root for, to feel your team has a shot at making the playoffs. And once the playoffs begin, and you know how good our playoffs are, starting in the first round, there's nothing comparable to it. You feel that if you root on your team, you got a good shot at seeing a great result.
And it's amazing how this sport has grown worldwide. I mean, Minnesota had the distinction of going to Finland one year, Stockholm last year for some competition over there. And what you have brought to the table here certainly has made this a sport that is being introduced to a lot of different areas it never had it before.
That's true, and wherever we seem to have teams, they do well. The South, the 2 Florida teams, look at Las Vegas and how well we're doing, Texas. But also, we never lose sight of the fact that we've got great, more weather-wise traditional hockey markets like what we have here in the state of hockey. I mean, there are great fans here. This is a great place to come together to see a game, and there's a real appreciation in Minnesota for hockey at all levels.
Yeah, and you look at where the games have been going. I remember in '67 when I broke in with Chicago, we were saying, like with Sam Mikita and Bobby Hull, how can you have games being played in California? It's not cold enough. But now we're seeing next year we got 2 games that are going to be held in Florida. So you're hoping that it's going to be a little bit cooler, maybe.
Something novel, something innovative, and a number of people have asked us if we've lost our minds. But obviously, I think we've done now 42 outdoor games. We really have great ice-making capability, great people in hockey operations. And so at the end of the day, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't think we could do it successfully. And it'll be great for the fans in Tampa and South Florida.
Gary Bettman, the NHL Commissioner, our guest here right now after the second period, which Minnesota's trailing by a score of 3-0. I guess what's the biggest challenge for you as a commissioner?
It's really, there's never one thing. What we want to do is make sure the game's in great shape, make sure that our fans can connect to the game in ways that they want and feel good about what it is we deliver night in and night out. And we have to anticipate what's happening into the future, how to distribute games, how to take advantage of digital platforms and social media, how to make sure that people at all levels and of all backgrounds have access to the game, to make sure that the hockey ecosystem is working day in and day out.
You know, the World Junior Championships just finished up here not too long ago, and of course, I should say the USA winning 2 gold medals consecutive years, which has never been done before. But it's fun to watch the kids and watch them on TV and see, because this is the future of the National Hockey League.
Hockey, particularly in the United States, is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's gratifying to see, both in terms of participation and the level of skill. And you're seeing more college programs than ever before, and I think it bodes well for the future of the game.
And now you've got also the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League, coming into the flow, and they've had pretty good crowds here, especially when it comes to weekends, and you see the young girls coming here and enjoying that part of the game.
You know, as a grandfather to 6 granddaughters, I think it's great that women, young girls, have women to look up to at all different sports and have role models in terms of, you know, having dreams that they aspire to. So, you know, I think what the PW has done in their first year has been incredible. We're extremely supportive, and we know they're going to continue to grow.
You were born in the Queens. Were you a hockey fan growing up as a youngster?
Yeah, I went to a game in the Old Garden, and when I went away to college, Cornell, that was, you know, the Ivies were never known for football or basketball, but Cornell was surely known for hockey, and I was a season ticket holder there all 4 years I was up in Ithaca.
You know, you mentioned the Old Garden, and that was the first time I ever played in the NHL, was in the Old Garden back in 1967.
You're dating both of us.
Well, I know, but it was, and I don't remember much about the building. I remember the game, but I don't remember
it was old.
The building. It was old. And we didn't make a lot of money in those days, but you know what? The game has grown in leaps and bounds, and I watch these young kids outdoor rinks, and I watch the parents, how they make the ice for the kids. It's so refreshing.
Well, I'll give you a context, and I've said this a number of times. At the Old Garden, and I would go there on the GO card they give you when you went to New York City Public Schools. You get in for 50 cents, you sit in the balcony, and there were no video boards in those days, right? So you just got to watch the game. But it didn't matter that there were no video boards, because you never would have been able to see them, because by the end of the first period, there was a cloud of smoke from people smoking. That's how long ago it was.
I remember it well, playing in some of those buildings, which is so much cleaner now, so much nicer. And Minnesota, very, very fortunate to have, you know, Mr. Nagley and the Mayor Norm Coleman really put together the effort to bring hockey back to Minnesota.
And if it wasn't for Norm Coleman, this building wouldn't have been built, and we wouldn't be here. And we miss Bob Nagley terribly. But Craig Leopold is a great owner. Fans here are lucky to have him. The community's lucky to have him. And we're thrilled that he's an owner in the league, and he's on the executive committee.
Now, you're sitting in his suite. Are you sitting close to him or not?
Well, he doesn't like people to sit next to him during the game. He's very superstitious. During the regular season, when I come to a game, I'll sit with an owner, we'll talk. During the playoffs, I won't go near an owner.
Yeah, I get it. Well, we appreciate you coming and stopping by.
Great to be here as always. Thanks for having me.
Gary Bettman, the Commissioner of the National Hockey League. Kevin, let's go back to you.
All right, thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Mr. Bettman, for joining us in their intermission. We'll give you a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Chances are you might enjoy your time down there, because it's chock full of hockey memorabilia. NHL Network's on, half a dozen TVs. You can watch a hockey game. So much more to see down at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Mr. Bettman, please, on your free time, go check it out. Wild, they're up against it. They're down 3-rip after 40 minutes of play. We'll give you a full recap next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
I'm anchoring myself to hope.
Be inspired with Joel Osteen Radio.
I just love Joel. He's the best, you know. I learn so much from him all the time.
Oh, it's just very uplifting.
It's time to say this is a new day. I've been anchored to that junk long enough.
And when you are encouraged, you can do anything.
Promotion is coming. Healing is coming. Breakthroughs are coming.
Your life will never be the same.
Be inspired with Joel Osteen Radio. Sirius XM 128 and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gore, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About whatever how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scored the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Well, the Utah Hockey Club scored twice in the first. They had another in the second, and they'll start the third on the power play. Beyond that, everything's just peachy. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
The fastest game on ice. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Wild were outshot 15-5 in the first. I actually outshot Utah 12-3 in the second. Still, they're down 3-0 after 2 periods. And like we said, they'll start the third period on the PK. Utah 3, Wild 0. The third is next. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with a new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, save a spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Back for the third period, where the Wild trail the Utah Hockey Club 3-0. Shorthanded for 42 seconds to start the period. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed back here with you. Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the third. Utah skating from left to right. All right, Tom, are you the mindset? Build anything you can for future games? Do you try to get one and see where it takes you? What's your approach?
Yeah, well, you got to get one. You got to get one before you get two, obviously. But the thing is, Minnesota's got to find a way to start going some goals. But they're not playing with any authority in this game. They were better in the second period, but not good enough yet. And that's why they're trailing right now by a score of 3-0.
Wild, of course, Monday in Denver scored 2 third-period goals to break a 1-1 tie. Go to January the 7th here in this building, 3 goals in the third and an eventual 6-4 win over St. Louis. So a couple of times this month with multiple third-period goals for the Wild, including as recently as Monday. They'll need at least 3 here in this one as Eric Sinek gets to a bouncing puck, charges in, left circle, spins up, and couldn't get a shot through. 30 seconds played in the third. Utah power play down to 10 seconds. Keller lost it. Middleton stuffed it along looking for Bogosian. Run into by Doan. Schmaltz angles it around. Cooley and Kesselring with a game of catch. Now Logan Cooley left circle to Doan. He'll just pry it all the way back looking for Kesselring. He was bailing out on a change. Rossi's out of the box. And the Wild back to full strength. Nick Schmaltz backhand, forehand, and off the dasher safely through center. On a regroup, Merrill carries the Wild ahead. John Merrill taps down low. Mata rimmed it around. McBain chiseled it free. Bukestad was hounded by Boldy, and now it's Brock Faber for the Wild with a backhanded pass to the left side for Merrill. In the wheelhouse of Boldy. Boldy trying to step past some pressure over the blue line, still battling for this puck. Left wing corner offensive zone goes Boldy. But Utah is there with Marino to McBain. Quickly floated free for Bukestad, who angles it off the glass and out the center. Zuccarello at center ice, stripped of the puck. Marino takes his time inside the Utah blue line. And now it's McBain carrying through center, flipping it in. Merrill golfed it around. Chisholm gave it away. Up top, a long shot by DeSimone, juggled by Gustafson, and they score. Barrett Hayton's second of the game. It comes early in the third, and another one that's not exactly of the high skill highlight reel variety.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm just wondering how the netminder's feeling right now. Obviously, it just trickled down by him. He could not capture it. It got by him and just kind of slithered over the line to his right on the far side and gives the Utah Hockey Club a 4-0 lead. This goal coming once again early in this period at 1:48 of the period.
Well, Erickson tied up Lawson Krause in front, didn't give him a tap in, but that puck on a second opportunity and tight leak through Gustafson and found the back of the net anyway. And Tom, we know what Philip Gustafson's game looks like when he's on. Everything's calm. Everything just seems to be absorbed into him, right? There's not a lot of wasted movement, not a lot of big rebounds. We're seeing a lot of rebounds and pucks that he's just not catching cleanly, whether they're tipped or not. When he's on his game, we know what it looks like, and I think the Wild obviously do as well.
Yeah, he won some big games for Minnesota early on this season, but, you know, all of a sudden now his mindset is he's afraid to even try to make an attempt to stop the puck. He's just has no confidence in his game right now, and unfortunately that translates to the Minnesota bench as well.
You know, that game in Vegas a couple of weekends back, he suffered the loss, but he looked like Philip Gustafson. But since then, it's kind of tailed back the other way as Kaprizov's long shot tipped by Hartman, and Vejmelka makes the save.
Scoring for Utah, 11 goals. Season second of the game for number 27, Barrett Hayton, assisted by number 57, Nick DeSimone. Time of the goal, 1:48 of the third period.
No, that was the first goal of the game was scored by Hayton from DeSimone, and that was the last goal of the game scored by Hayton with DeSimone getting the assist. So DeSimone with 2 points in this game. Gives him 3 assists on the year. And for Hayton, that is goal number 11. Numbers 10 and 11 in this contest.
Hartman tripped up at center. No penalty call. Here's Foligno charging in. A left circle wrister that caught the glass. Liam O'Brien trying to tip it free. Wild looking to hunt it down. O'Brien on a second opportunity just bangs it out to center. Middleton flexing it along. Goudreau touches it back, and Brock Faber at the bottom of his own left circle hustles one ahead. The careen free. Schmaltz fresh off the bench. Finds Keller left circle. Clayton Keller a shot, and that lasered off of Gustafson and caught the glass. Boy, Keller, for a smaller player, Tom, he can really shoot it.
Yeah, he really, and he's got a long-term contract with his hockey club also. They know exactly what they got when they signed him to a 8-year contract back in 2019.
Still just 26 years of age, Clayton Keller. Boldy now in a little 2-on-1 down low, try to center, blocked by Mata. Boldy regathers, spins left circle, shot one, Vejmelka the save off the upper part of his chest protector, and Utah finds the rebound. Schmaltz chisels it ahead. Matt Zuccarello through his own slot, punched one of the left wing boards that Chisholm carries ahead. Declan Chisholm bounced it off the end wall. Rossi hands it to the right point. Spurgeon a wrister, blockered away by Vejmelka. Came back out in front. The netminder was looking the wrong way, but Mata grabs it, takes it away from trouble, and now Utah bolts ahead a 3-on-3 through center ice. McBain over the blue line, handed it back. DeSimone a drive. That went well wide. Grabbing it is Bukestad. Cycled it back of the cage. McBain now punched it free for Bukestad. Spurgeon ties him up. Bukestad prevails, sent one to the back post. Kraut fanned on it, and the Wild pick it up. Rossi, a little flick off the left wing boards as he'll try and chase to it with both teams changing. Well, Lawson Krause there at a loose puck side of the net. Could have easily become 5-0.
Yep.
Michelli spirits it in. Gustafson handles it. Faber forced it right side. Hustadinov twisting it free for Trenyon. Yakov Trenyon over the blue line. Closed on by Cole. He got dumped. Faber tried to keep it in. Middleton does hold the line. They'll find Trenyon right side with a shot blocked by Cole, who leads Utah in that category. And Ian Cole, in fact, tied for first in the league in blocks coming in as Faber's long drive hit the end boards. Diving Hustadinov kept the Wild in business. Here's Jakub Lauko. Lauko centering. One-timer by Hustadinov, muted to the corner by Cole. Faber pinches in right side. Doan pins him up. 5:20 gone by here in the third. The Wild trailing 4-0. Middleton keeps the blue line left side. Flopped it down into the corner. Trenyon and Kesselring to come together. Now Cole to just smack it off the boards, and Utah will take this whistle. They needed a breather, and they get it here on an icing call.
Well, it's interesting also, Joe, what happens in situations like this, guys on the bench for Minnesota say, I'm going to grab that puck, and I'm going to go all by myself, and I'm going to make something happen. Now, that's when you start to get in trouble. You've got to use your line mates, your teammates out there in situations. Right now they're sitting with a deficit of 4 goals in this hockey game, down, trailing 4-0. Both teams have had 20 shots in this game. Still 14:25 to go here in the third.
Off the face-off, Merrill, D-to-D, Bogosian right point, sauntered it off a body, kicked off the glass, Kesselring had it. He's tied up by Ogren. Ogren, Kaprizov, and Eriksson for Minnesota. Kaprizov able to free it up, Bogosian right point, a long shot, that went wide. Merrill outside the left circle, to the blue line, Ogren a drive, blocker save, Vejmelka. Kaprizov now trying to tuck one in tight, rolled off his tape. And Utah counters. Hayton flips in from the red line. Merrill on a D-to-D reverse. Bogosian a quick left wing pass. Kaprizov one touch to free. Here's Liam Ogren. Over the blue line, lost the handle. And O'Brien looks to counter. O'Brien finding Kevin Stenlund out of Stockholm, Sweden. His backhander went wide. Kerfoot charging to it. Swung it around looking for O'Brien. Pinching in Mata as Utah stays in business. Kerfoot now stripped by Chisholm, who stabbed it along the boards. Ogren chunking at it. Marino again pinching in. Kaprizov with the pass. It deflected. Mata holds the line. Ole Mata, D-to-D at the right point. Marino skates across the blue line. Fed it back to Mata. He'll gallop across the stripe, and his pass to Marino deflects away. Ogren to gallop ahead. The Wild need a line change, so Liam Ogren just scales it in. 13 minutes left. It's a 4-0 deficit for Minnesota here at home. Mata through center ice for McBain. They'll hand it off. DeSimone to his right. Up ice for Krause. His pass blocked by the hustle of Hartman. Hartman charging to a right wing corner. Krause got back on it. Faber kept in his clearing attempt, and now Hartman from along the right wing boards up to the blue line. Found Gaudreau for a drive. Vejmelka the save, and he dove on top of the loose puck for a whistle. 12:33 left. 4-0 the deficit for Minnesota here at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
I'm Katie Nolan, and I have a new podcast called Casuals. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Casuals is a twice-a-week hang with me and my friends from across comedy, sports, and entertainment, where we talk about all the funny, weird, interesting stuff happening in and around the world of sports. So whether you're a diehard fan or just vaguely sports curious, Casuals is the podcast for you. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Give it a try. What's the worst that could happen?
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Well, it has not been a good night for Minnesota and for their fans here in this building, which looks like a full building right now. But Minnesota trailing 4-0 in the third period with 12:33 to go here in period number 3. Shots right now have Minnesota in the lead, and that's the only thing they lead in, 21-20. But they're having a hard time getting any traction in this game.
We're back to live action. Schmaltz hands it along for Clayton Keller. Carries over the Wild blue line and sends it behind the net. Schmaltz tried to quickly center. He was stick checked by Middleton. The Wild come up with numbers if they hustle. It's Middleton over the blue line. Just had to play it down low. Foligno leaned on by Kesselring. Utah able to bounce it free. Hartman gloves it down, takes it for a skate at center, hooked it nicely to Gaudreau. Gaudreau dropped it back. Foligno left circle, a shot. Vejmelka the save. Big rebound, a backhanded try by Middleton, and it ricocheted just wide. Middleton leans on Schmaltz, and the Wild keep it alive. Foligno tried to flex it in front. Punched away by Vejmelka, and carried along now by Cooley, who flips it off the glass.
Yeah, and it's been fairly easy for the Utah Hockey Club coming out of their own zone.
Hartman dances along, connects with Boldy, who powers in. Matt Boldy, 10 points his last 8 games. 5 goals, 5 assists in that span. He couldn't do much on that instance. As Utah got it through center, pass for Boldy, skips away, Zuccarello rescues it. Now Rossi, in onside, right circle. Rossi, a shot kicked out by Vejmelka. Alamaki counters with a feed for Doan, who's stripped by Spurgeon on the backside pressure. Spurgeon notches it ahead. Utah is back. They finish a change on the fly. As Stenlund wheels it along, this is going to be icing on the visitors.
And that will bring the faceoff back deep in the Utah zone. Should congratulate also Jacques Lemaire, who was brought into the Ring of Honor in New Jersey. Longtime recipient of the... He's got 20... I think he's got 11 Stanley Cups. 8 as a player. 1 as a coach. And the rest as a assistant general manager. Of course, he makes his home in Florida now, but made his debut yesterday. Larry Robinson came in, and they had just a number... Scott Niedermeyer, a number of players came in to congratulate him at the same time.
Stretch pass for Marino, in with a wrister, hit the outside of the goalpost. Tom, as you look back, the time that Jacques Lemaire spent in Minnesota over the years, I know you got to know him fairly well. What impressed you the most? What stands out the most about his style?
Great hockey mind. He really is. Even when I played against him when he was with Montreal and I was with either Chicago or Minnesota, I mean, he understood the game. He could shoot the puck. He could win draws. He could just do everything. And what he was able to do is to bring that information as the first coach ever with his hockey club, and give this team a chance in those first few years when they didn't have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I mean, in those days when you had an expansion team, they didn't give you much. You had to earn your own. And of course, Marion Gaborik was their first draft choice, and certainly made dividends for Minnesota. But wonderful guy, fun to be around. He and Mario Tremblay. With those guys all the time, we had a lot of fun. Just being around each other.
Gustafson made a save with his glove to get a whistle, and then he kicks one out from Krause that came off the offensive zone draw. It's now 23 shots per team. The draw to the battle to the left of Gustafson. Wild able to emerge. Faber headmans. Lauko trying to step loose. Kesselring slowed him down. Played barely onside as Middleton. Trying to pry it deeper. Nothing there. Husnudinov on a reset back through center. Guides it along. Faber goes back across the green. Middleton left circle. Launched it up ice. Husnudinov. Twisting it to Lauko. Lauko darts in. Dropped it off at the left faceoff dot for Husnudinov. Late help coming. He'll feather it that way. Chisholm just pokes it down low for Lauko, who guides one along. Faber, a wrister blocked. Bukestad long-bodied out. That stung the big forward a bit, but he was able to block it. He'll go to the bench for a fresh body. Chisholm battles near the penalty box area against O'Brien. But Utah ends up with his puck as it's flipped along by Stenlund, handled now by Marino, whose pass connects with Kerfoot, able to deflect it in. Just over 9 minutes to go now in regulation. The Wild trailing 4-0 here at home. Marino at the point to Stenlund for a long shot. Tip. Gustafson fought it off. And the loose change jabbed along for Kaprizov, who escapes some trouble. Curls back. Kirill Kaprizov deep in Minnesota ice. Started around the net and was able to weave a pass for Eric Sinek. Picks his head up and bolts ahead. Eric Sinek cut past a couple of checks. In onside right circle. Try to squeeze it in front of his block. Kaprizov then try to loosen it up to the slot for Ogren. Nothing there. And it's Marino. They'll elude some pressure, come out right side and sky through center. Faber fought the bouncing puck back through center ice, but the Utah Hockey Club wheeling back in with Logan Cooley, cutting to the right wing side. Down low, Keller tried a quick centering pass. It deflects to the point. DeSimone, a couple of assists tonight to Valimaki. A rink-wide feed handled by Cooley at the right hash marks. Cooley cycled it down low, Keller lifted it towards the slot. Eriksson Ek steals and fires it through center. Utah back on it. Ogren stole a pass, but then gave it right back to Schmaltz, who plays it the way of Valimaki. Lofted to Krause, back to Valimaki, and now onto the tape. As charging through center ice is Michelli. Matthias Michelli to the right circle. Hayton try to scoop it in front. Merrill blocked that. Goudreau now out of the right wing corner. Skies it ahead, a touch too far for Foligno. Pounded back the other way by Kesselring. Bogosian trying to trickle it free. Hartman emerges with this puck. Ryan Hartman for the Wild. Carries over the blue line, churns it around the end glass. Back of the net, Goudreau on the forecheck. Michelli supported well for Utah, and he'll come out with his puck right side before just banging it through center. It's tapped in back of the Wild net. Doan finishes hit. Hartman carries the Wild ahead. Ryan Hartman turned the puck over just outside his blue line. Bursting in McBain, a backhander, glanced off Gustafson and deflected wide, and the puck now ends up in the stands with 7 minutes left in the third period here in St. Paul. It's a 4-0 deficit for the Wild. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You have a job and a paycheck. Sure, that usually works for keeping your finances on track. But there are times when having access to the money you've already worked for can be a game changer. In between times are the ones that can make a big difference in your life. In comes Daily Pay. With Daily Pay, you can access your earned wages when you want them. Because your hard work happens on the daily, you should be able to reap your rewards on the daily. Find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
Listen to Wild Hockey every night.
In the Twin Cities, tune in to the flagship, FM 100.3 KFAN.
If you're traveling across the state of hockey, find a station near you at wild.com/radio.
You can also use the official Minnesota Wild app. And don't forget to bring your radio along and listen.
In the arena, without delay, on 95.7.
From World to Mankato
and everywhere in between.
Listen to Wild Hockey exclusively
on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Scoreboard update.
Games in progress include the Golden Knights holding on to a 3-1 lead in St. Louis. They're midway through the third period. Sabres and Flames knotted at a goal apiece. Flames will be here for the nightcap of Hockey Day Minnesota Saturday night pregame at 5:45 on most of these same stations. Elsewhere, the Oilers lead the Canucks 4-0. They're midway through the second period. Zach Hyman with a pair of goals in that one. He's up to 17. Leon Draisaitl on the board as well. He's up to 35. Pens and Ducks, they're scoreless, as are the Capitals and Kraken. Later on, the Predators will swim with the Sharks. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, Joe, going to be interesting also with Washington, no question about it. Gretzky holds the record with goals at 894, and right now Ovi is at 874. He's 20 behind, and right now there's no score. I think Kevin said in that Washington game. Let's see where that goes from this point on.
I think the last time I counted, they had about 20 or so games before they come to St. Paul, the Washington Capitals.
Yeah.
So just saying, folks, if you're out there, he might not be at 894, but he might be close when the Caps come to St. Paul.
I guess
wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it really would be. Kind of fun to watch that unfold. Yes and no, I guess.
Yeah.
You want your name in the record book for that one? I'm not sure.
Depending on what side of the fence you're on, I guess. I'm with you, Tom, for a long time. I know we've talked about this, and you've mentioned it. I didn't think it would happen. I'm not so sure that I wanted it to happen. Just kind of hold a great one and growing up watching him, as so many of us did. But, as Ovechkin has gotten closer now, it's going to happen. So I think it'll be great for the game overall. Should be a nice bump in exposure and marketing and all those things, and an all-time record falls at any sport.
Yeah, and he is such a horse on the ice, too. He is so powerful, big, strong, and he can play any type of game you want to play.
Rossi charges over the blue line after a broken shot by a Utah defenseman, allows the Wild to attack. Kaprizov, a one-timer from the right dot, and Vejmelka read it, made the save.
Yeah, good play by Vejmelka. Just pushed off that right skate of his, went to the other side. The shot came to him. Just buried that one in his midsection, and with that, that'll keep the face-off deep in the Utah zone. Well, after tonight, Minnesota will play on Saturday night here against Calgary. Then they play Sunday in Chicago. So that's 3 games in 4 nights. And then the next week they will embark on that long trip going from Toronto to Montreal to Ottawa to Boston before returning home. I think it's a 6-day trip for the Wild once again. That'll be the last long trip out of the way finally for the Wild. I can't believe, Joe, how fast this season has gone by, though.
Yeah.
Here we are, game number, 48 by Minnesota.
Yeah, getting down to the nitty-gritty is Kerfoot denied it tight. Nice stop by Gustafsson on a play that had Kerfoot just through the goal mouth with a chance. Wild counter now. Eriksson scoops it in, then swats it O'Brien. Play continues. Kerfoot trying to jab it out. It's lifted through center. Ogren spins with this puck. Finds Middleton, will carry along, nearly lost it. It's jabbed back the other way. 5.5 minutes to go, and what unfortunately has been a night the Wild would like to forget. Down 4-0 at home. And it was the Arizona Coyotes that came in this building just over a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, and won a game 6-0 when Bukestad had a hat trick. A lot of the same players, obviously a different team name, different location, but that was one a year ago where the Wild just never had it going.
Yeah, look at them right now. They're just controlling the puck. They're not so worried about scoring goals as they are just maintaining puck possession.
Marino through the neutral zone, try to power it ahead, blocked. Goudreau finds Foligno, spun off a check, looked to center for Hartman. Bogosian to pinch in, but Hayton was there to take it away. Barrett Hayton, the opening goal and the final goal so far in our scoring summary here in this one. Eventually Schmaltz to right circle wrister, kicked out by Gustafsson. Can a clean final back half of this period help Philip Gustafsson at all time?
Yeah, I think it can, but right now I think the problem is his mindset. What's happening to him, he's almost afraid to face another shot for fear it's going to go in.
Valimaki down low. Schmaltz went right back to Valimaki, and his one-timer tipped and knuckled over the crossbar. Bogosian dumped Cooley. Puck loosened up for Keller to race to it. At the point now, DeSimone back to Clayton Keller. Punched along quickly for Schmaltz, who's Ustinov trying to stay with him. A centering pass, bunted away from trouble by Merrill. But the Utah Hockey Club back on it. Cooley a chance in tight. Kick save, Gustafsson. And peeling back behind his own net, the reset is Yakov Trenyon. Trenyon to charge ahead. He'll gain the red line left side. Trenyon over the blue line. Chops it in. Cole back. Trenyon bumped into him. It's skied along. Krause filters it free. Kesselring hits the red line, turns to his backhand, carves it in from there. Chisholm trying to weave it free. Bukestad cut it off. Nick Bukestad for Utah, a Blaine, Minnesota native. He stripped to the puck. Eventually, it comes the way of Lauko. Lauko trying to charge in, tripped up by Kesselring. And a late third period power play for the Wild, trying to get off the schneid.
Yeah, Kesselring is going to get to the penalty box before the referee. He realized what he did on that one.
7 Utah minor penalty tripping.
So with 3:24 to go, we're back after this. The Wild down 4-0 at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Beautiful mountains, wide open spaces, bustling cities and towns. There's a lot to love in our home states. And at XL Energy, we take pride in helping our local communities thrive. Beyond providing reliable energy, we help support the local economy and fund education with grants. Because your home is our home. And together, we can make it a better place to live, work, learn, and play. See how at excelergy.com/community.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrissure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.
Standing 6'2" and weighing in at over 200 pounds, Wild forward Yakov Trenyon is known for playing a heavy game and going to the dirty areas. There is nothing soft about Yakov Trenyon. Nothing. No, seriously, I'm actually a little afraid of him.
Hey, Wild fan. This is Yakov Trenyon.
Not weird. Wild.
From country night to Star Wars, Minnesota Wild ticket packs are available for every fan. Learn more at wild.com/pack.
Well, 3:24 to go here. Minnesota going in the power play. That's where we're getting the call on the tripping call. Minnesota 0 for 2. This is power play number 3. We'll see if they can make something happen here.
Eriksson Ek with Zuccarello to his left, Kaprizov to his right, Boldy and Spurgeon also out there after the TV timeout. Utah was not shorthanded Monday. They're winning home over Winnipeg. It's the third time they've gone to the box here in this game. As they'll clear through center off the one draw, Spurgeon comes back to gather. Lofts it back for Boldy on a drop pass. Now a right wing feed, Eriksson Ek carrying the Wild onside. Behind the net, Kaprizov. Chopped it around, Zuccarello to pinch in. Jabbed it back around the cage, and it left the playing surface. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Wild with 3:01 to go.
Yeah, into the netting, so that's going to keep the face-off deep in the Utah zone. I think both teams like to just get this game over with. Of course, Utah wants to maintain that shutout for their goaltender.
Off the face-off, Zuccarello hounded Cole. Zuccarello now trying to spring it around the boards. The Utah Hockey Club able to steal and fire it down.
Yeah, Minnesota's not won too many battles in this contest at all.
Utah scoring 1:46 in on the game's first shot, and really, for the most part, never looking back. Felt like the Wild pushed early in the second, couldn't get back into it, and now it's 4-0 with 2.5 minutes left. Spurgeon at the blue line. Jars it along Zuccarello. Rink wide, Boldy, right circle, a shot, pushed it wide. Zuccarello to the carom. Center point for Spurgeon. Back to Zuccarello outside the left circle. Right circle shot by Kaprizov. Stop, rebound in the blue paint. Utah rescues it, and they'll fling it all the way down. You know they want this shutout for Karel Vejmelka. Yep. As Kaprizov charges back in, fakes a shot. Side angle bid block. Rebound for Kaprizov. Tried that patented wraparound as he got in on those inside edges, but Vejmelka held it out. The Wild punch it back in with a $1.50 left. The power play at 25 seconds. Karel Vejmelka, 5 career NHL shutouts, none this season. His last was December the 16th, 2023 against Buffalo when he made 53 saves. Hasn't been nearly that busy tonight. In fact, the Wild about to be outshot for the 8th straight game. As Utah pins a loose puck down.
Yeah, just look at Minnesota right now, how they're skating. I mean, they've slowed right down.
And the Wild in danger of not hitting the 30-shot plateau. Again, they've done that just once in the last 8 coming in. Rossi in on the forecheck, threw his head back as he was clipped up high. Play continues. 65 seconds to go. At this point, the Wild just trying to end the shutout bid. As Utah's in front 4-0. Minnesota's already been shut out once this season. That came in Winnipeg, which was the final game of their 4-game losing streak, a season high. Merrill could not keep a puck in right point as he flops it back in. The Wild are offside.
And this will probably be the final change of these two teams right now. Looking at the Minnesota bench, looks pretty dejected down there, Joe, and you can't blame them. I mean, they're hoping to get something really going in this building, having the two of their star players back into it, but never materialized through all 3 periods.
Utah now has scored 3 or more in 5 straight games as their offense starts to rise to the task. And again, that's without Dylan Guenther, one of their top young point getters. 35 seconds to go. Lauko pinches in, swung it down low for Husnudinov. Hustles it along. Trenyon had it skip past him. Liam O'Brien now. O'Brien flies through center, weaves it in. Merrill back. Reversed it right wing corner. Bogosian with 20 seconds left to outlet. Trenyon hits the red line, crisscrossing with Husnudinov. Waits a bit more and then just floats it back for Merrill, who smacks it to Bogosian. 10 seconds left, and you can hear the displeasure from those that remain.
Yep, can't blame them.
Final seconds ticking down as the Wild just content to sit back in their own zone. And the Utah Hockey Club comes into St. Paul, wins for the 2nd time this year, besting the Wild here and blanking them in their barn. 4-0 the final.
And Joe, the thing is, you're going to lose games. I understand that, but I didn't see the effort from this hockey club tonight. Whether they felt that having, Spurgeon back in the lineup, having Kaprizov back in the lineup was going to pave the way for them. It certainly did not. And now they've got to go and kind of lick their wounds a little bit and determine how they're going to play for the next couple of games. They got back-to-back games here, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday here, then Sunday in Chicago.
And Tom, I go back to something you said way earlier in the broadcast. You talked about guys maybe trying to do things a little bit too much on the individual front, especially when the Wild got behind. And that's a stark contrast to Monday in Denver, where after the game, John Hines couldn't say enough good things about playing as a 5-man unit. And tonight it felt like, especially once they got behind early, it just wasn't crisp from a connectivity standpoint.
No, I agree 100%. But watching it, just the effort was not there that I expected to see tonight. A little bit more so. I guess I figured that maybe Kaprizov was going to lead them out of the wilderness and make some good things happen. Didn't quite happen that way, obviously. But now they've got to figure a way to win their next game, which is going to be a tough game.